Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Hokage Hiruzen orders his elite Anbu to train Naruto part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. The Kyuubi's attack on Konoha had severely crippled the village, damaging its most precious resources, of which the most important was shinobi. A pariah was born on that fateful day. The Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, who would in the future be scorned by the village. His name? Uzumaki Naruto. Currently, they were attempting to rush the kids through the academy in a hope to restore their numbers. 3 students, in particular, showed promise: Uchiha Itachi, the Uchiha clan head's son; Namikaze Narumi, the daughter of the Yondaime Hokage; and Uchiha Shursui, another prodigy of the Uchiha clan like Itachi. A year later, these 3 students became genin after a single year at the academy, graduating at the tender age of 6. They were placed under Inuzuka Tsume's charge and improved quickly under her strict training regiment. On their first mission out of the village, all 3 awakened their Sharingan. In Narumi's case, her paternal grandmother was an Uchiha. Among the 3 friends, there was a love triangle. Shursui had a crush on Narumi, while she had a crush on Itachi. Another year later, the 3 were promoted to Chunin at age 7, where they took more dangerous missions. The Sharingan had saved them on many occasions, though they were careful not to over-rely on it. 2 years later, the prodigious trio made it to Jonin with their exceptional performance and teamwork. The Sandaime Hokage himself was impressed, and decided to keep them as a team. Another 2 years later, at age 11, the 3 were promoted to the Anbu Black Ops, where they were the elite shinobi who only answered to the Hokage. Itachi was given the codename Karasu, or Crow, where he had a black bird mask. Meanwhile, Narumi held the codename Itachi, no pun intended, or Weasel. Lastly, Shursui possessed the codename Taka, which meant hawk. Itachi signed the Crow's summoning contract along with Narumi. It was after that day that Narumi was going on her usual patrol around the village when she noticed a blonde boy cornered in an alley by 10 villagers with weapons in their hands. The boy was Uzumaki Naruto, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki mentioned earlier. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, with whiskers marking his cheeks as the demon child that most of the villagers wanted dead. Narumi drew her tanto instinctively as she crouched on the roof. Then she noticed one of the villagers walking towards him and swinging his kitchen knife. "Don't hurt me!" the 6-year-old Naruto screamed. The redhead leapt off the ledge towards the mob, intent on stopping the bellicose villager before it was too late. She wouldn't let her Ototo get hurt. The blonde shut his eyes, waiting for the pain that would surely come. Narumi and the other villagers watched in alarm as 6 flaming golden chains seemingly sprouted from the child's back and knocked away the knife with its bladed tips. Then they wrapped around the villager who attacked Naruto and fried him alive with its fierce flames. "This is Kachan's Kongo Fuza, adamant sealing chains?" Narumi thought, trying to process what the hell was going on. Naruto opened his eyes when he realized that nothing hit him. If Narumi was surprised just now, she was shocked now. In her Ototo's eye sockets lay a pair of Sharingan. Naruto then noticed the chains which were fighting the rest of the mob that became even more furious after their fellow villager's death. "Demon! You just killed one of us. I knew you were a demon!" one of the villagers shouted. "Yeah. You'll pay for that," another villager agreed. Then one of the villagers pointed at his eyes. "Look at his eyes, now they're red. He's surely a demon!" The villager yelled without recognizing the dojutsu. He was, after all, a civilian. Naruto could do nothing but cry at the verbal assaults. The chains then wrapped around all of them, easily crushing them into bits of charred flesh. Narumi just realized that he didn't need help at all. When the chains detected her presence, they seemed to recognize her as they retracted back where they came from. Naruto cried even louder when he noticed another person coming, for it seemed that the chains wouldn't protect him from the next enemy. Narumi got her heart torn when she saw her Ototo crying like that. She squatted down and hugged him. "Naruto-kun, you're safe now. I need to take you to the Hokage for very important matters, is that alright?" Narumi asked gently. Naruto merely nodded when he found that the person was an Anbu. Hokage-sama said that those ninjas with masks could be trusted. Hokage's office. The Sandaime Hokage looked up from his stack of paperwork when he heard the arrival of an Anbu and Naruto. "Ah, Itachi-san. What happened this time?" Hiruzen asked. Narumi answered, "Hokage-sama, it appears that the villagers have gotten more aggressive. Instead of the usual verbal attacks, a group of 10 decided to exterminate him with weapons." "What?" the Sandaime roared. The nerve. However, that was not the only thing. Before I could help Naruto, a flaming version of the Kongo Fuza shot out from Naruto's back and incinerated the nearest villager who attacked him with a knife. Then after that Naruto awakened the Sharingan, Narumi continued. The Hokage's jaw dropped. He then pondered on it for a while. "Get me Inu and Karasu," Hiruzen ordered. Narumi disappeared for 3 minutes, then reappeared with the 2 operatives. One bore a dog mask while the other, a crow mask. "The reason why I have called you here was to see if you wanted to train Naruto-kun," the aged Hokage spoke. "I agree," said Inu. He wouldn't miss the opportunity to train his sensei's legacy. "So do I," Karasu replied. "I take it you do as well, Itachi-san?" Hiruzen asked Narumi, who nodded. "Why wouldn't she train her Ototo?" "All right. Please drop your masks," the Hokage requested. Narumi did, revealing a beautiful young girl with long, crimson hair and stunning violet eyes. Karasa did so as well. Behind that mask was a handsome young boy with jet black hair and eyes Itachi. Lastly, Inu took off his mask, showing a young man with gravity-defying silver hair. His height was slanted so that it was covering his left eye, a Sharingan implant. You shall remain this way whenever you train Naruto all the way till he graduates from the academy. Is that understood? Hi, Hokage-sama, I have decided on a training plan. Kakashi-kun, you shall train him in ninjutsu and chakra control, Hiruzen ordered, looking at the silver-haired man. Then his eyes locked on Itachi. Itachi-kun, you shall train Naruto-kun in taijutsu, body techniques, genjutsu, illusionary techniques, and using the Sharingan. Finally, Narumi-chan, you shall train Naruto in fuinjutsu, sealing techniques, and kenjutsu, sword techniques. Any problems? No, Hokage-sama. The three Anbu responded. Dismissed. Naruto, who watched the entire procedure, looked at the three Anbu operatives who were about to be his senseis in the shinobi arts. He was excited, then he felt something weird. When he closed his eyes, instead of the usual black, the world around him was rendered a light gray with outlines of the actual world. There were 4 blue flames in front of him, most likely Hokage-sama, Narumi-sensei, Itachi-sensei and Kakashi-sensei. There were 6 more of these flames in the walls, 3 on each side. They all had emotions, ranging from happiness to sadness. However, one of the blue flames had no emotion at all. That was weird for a human unless it was not a human. Naruto opened his eyes. Narumi-sensei, can I borrow your tanto? The redhead shrugged and unsheathed her tanto, passing it to him. When Naruto grabbed it, he broke into a run towards the wall and impaled that flame without emotions. The other 9 people in the room watched in surprise as an Anbu operative materialized and collapsed to the floor, severely injured. The Hokage then noticed the root marking on the shinobi's arm. A root agent among us? Send him to Ibiki for interrogation, said Marino. Ibiki was the head of Konoha's intelligence division, aka Torture and Interrogation Force or TNI, famous for his interrogations that would break even the most hardened criminals and veteran shinobi. Naruto-kun, how did you know that it was an enemy? Hiruzen asked. Naruto explained what he saw and felt. An Uzumaki sensor? The Hokage and the 3 senseis thought. The 3 Anbu then turned and brought Naruto out of the room. Sarutobi Hiruzen watched the receding back of the young Naruto. Without a doubt, he would grow up to be a powerful shinobi. Omake. Chapter 1 Deleted Scenes. Narumi drew her tanto instinctively as she crouched on the roof. Then she noticed one of the villagers walking towards him and swinging his kitchen knife. Don't hurt me! The 6-year-old Naruto screamed. The redhead leapt off the ledge towards the mob, intent on stopping the bellicose villager before it was too late. She wouldn't let her Ototo get hurt. The blonde shut his eyes, waiting for the pain that would surely come. Narumi watched in alarm as the knife struck Naruto in the chest. Suddenly a poof of smoke appeared, and when it cleared there were 60 naked ladies with smoke covering their most important parts surrounding the villager who had attacked. They laughed and blew kisses at him. It was too much for the villager, who shot out of the alley propelled by blood spurting from his nose. His 9 other companions followed soon after as the ladies charmed and seduced their way through the mob. Narumi, who was watching, sweat dropped at her Ototo. That was a weird but effective way to use the henge, one that would come to be dubbed as the Harimi no Jutsu, harem jutsu. Let's go to training ground 7, Kakashi winked. The other 2 picked on the hint and sprinted off along with him. Naruto watched his senseis running off, and realized that they were leaving him behind. He then took off in a burst of speed, trying to catch up. The 3 looked back, impressed that the 6-year-old was already catching up to them. His speed was incredible for someone his age. Kakashi then turned it up a notch by sending chakra to his feet. The 2 11-year-olds did so as well, leaving Naruto in the dust. Naruto pouted, then sped up by pushing his muscles to the limit. Surprise, surprise! Naruto overtook Kakashi, Itachi and Narumi. That was ridiculous, considering he didn't even have access to his chakra. However, the blonde slowed down to the same pace as his senseis when he realized that he had no idea where training ground 7 was. Narumi looked on in shock. Her Ototo was actually faster than her. Without chakra, training ground 7. The 3 senseis ground to a halt while Naruto collapsed onto the grass, panting extremely hard. As mentioned, I'll take you for taijutsu, genjutsu and using the Sharingan, Itachi announced. It seems to me that you're a natural speed type, so the objective of your training will be to increase your reflexes and strength with the help of your speed. Wait, Itachi-san. I have an idea, Kakashi cut in. Itachi raised an eyebrow, gesturing his hand in a rolling motion, as in go on. As your ninjutsu teacher, I shall have you unlock your chakra first. Chakra is made up of spiritual and physical energy, and is utilized for the jutsus that shinobi use. To unlock your chakra, you must first meditate and feel for a warm sensation in your body. Clear so far? Kakashi asked. Hi, Naruto replied and sat down, calming his heart and mind. He immediately felt the warmth near his stomach, and reached for it. Suddenly, a massive flood of chakra poured out of Naruto, surprising the 3. That fast? Kakashi thought. It usually took a few minutes if lucky or days if not. Then Naruto felt another source of chakra and reached for it. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in a sewer-like area. Mindscape. Where am I? Naruto thought. He saw what appeared to be a giant cage at the end of the tunnel, so he waded through the ankle-length water towards it. The cage was spanned the whole height of the sewer, with thick vertical bars. At the center, there was a paper with the kanji for seal. The sound of malicious laughter was heard from within the cage. He withdrew when he saw a single red eye opening in the darkness of the cage. The creature was a fox? Who are you? Naruto asked. Why am I here? The giant fox chuckled, answering, in that order. I'm your guardian spirit, and you are here because you entered your mindscape. You're my guardian spirit? Nope, I'm the Kyuubi no Yoko, nine-tailed demon fox. You're the Kyuubi? Suddenly, everything became clear. The glares. The insults. Why he was overcharged for things or why he was thrown out of stores. But I thought the yondaime killed me? Bah, that's the funniest joke I've ever heard. We bijou-tailed beasts can't be killed, only sealed. It's almost insulting to hear that a puny human could kill one of the 9 bijou, the fox spoke. Why was I the one? Naruto cried. Humph, that's because only newborns had the undeveloped chakra coils required for the sealing. You just happened to be born that day, the Kyuubi explained without revealing his heritage. Why did you attack Konoha? Made my life a living hell? Naruto screamed. The Kyuubi replied, Kid, I didn't attack Konoha for no reason. You think I got nothing better to do? I was controlled by the Sharin. The fox paused when he noticed the glowing pair of 2 Tomo's Sharingan in his host. Those eyes! The fox roared. His host had the Sharingan. Naruto looked confused as well. One minute he was thinking about everything the villagers had done to him, and the next the fox was yelling about his eyes. Naruto looked into the water below as was shocked to see 2 Tomos and each of his Sharingan looking right back at him. He would ask Itachi-sensei what that meant when he got out of this place. Wait, you said you were controlled by the Sharingan? Naruto completed the train of thought before he unknowingly channeled chakra to his eyes, deactivating the Sharingan. The fox calmed down when he noticed that Naruto's eyes returned to the original cerulean blue. He explained to the boy of his previous encounters with those damnable eyes. So you were used, it's not your fault then. Those villagers, they wronged you and me. Naruto shouted. The fox grinned in approval. It seemed that the kid was getting it. That's right. But I noticed something about your chakra, it feels eerily similar to my previous hosts, the Kyuubi spoke. What is it? And you have previous hosts? Naruto asked. Yes, I had 2 hosts in the past. One was Uzumaki Mito, the wife of your Shodame Hokage, Senju Hashirama. The second Jinchuriki was Uzumaki Kushina, my most recent host until 6 years ago. She was most likely your mother, the fox said, thinking that Naruto at least deserved to know who his mother was. Ka-chan? Naruto muttered, the word seemed almost foreign to him. This was what she looked like, the Kyuubi said while conjuring an image of Kushina with his chakra. Wait, that red hair and violet eyes, it looked familiar, but he couldn't place it. Do you know who my father is? I do not, the Kyuubi lied. Well, at least I know my Ka-chan was a beautiful woman, Naruto said. Anyways, your chakra felt similar to Kushina, no surprise there, considering she's your mother. But I think I felt Kongo Fusa earlier in the day, the fox voiced out. Kongo Fusa? Oh, you mean those chains? Yeah, they were awesome. They were golden with flames that killed the villagers who tried attacking me. Naruto spoke. Chakra chains, huh? Well, seeing you didn't come here to monologue about tranquility or love like my previous hosts, how about a deal? The Kyuubi suggested. What are the terms? Naruto asked, happy to befriending someone, even if he wasn't human. In exchange for further sharpening your senses, increasing your sensory ability, healing factor, speed, strength, chakra levels, control, and the occasional boost of power, I request that I be allowed a little freedom. Meaning that I get access to your senses, like seeing what you see, hear what you hear, and smelling what you smell, etc. Also, I get to establish a mental link with you so that I can talk to you and stuff. Finally, mind changing this place? The fox hammered out the details. It's a deal! Naruto cried. He closed his eyes in concentration as the sewer warped into a luscious forest. There was a small mountain in the center, where a huge, spacious cave was the cage. The bars were turned into a curtain of water, a waterfall from the top of the mountain flowing down to feed a small lake. The fox sighed in contentment. Finally! Now for this you get a bonus. It's called the Nanajuni Henge, 72 transformations. It allows you to shape-shift between 72 forms excluding your original. Now this is similar to what humans call the solid henge that requires Kage-level reserves to use effectively in battle or otherwise, but the difference is that this requires no chakra at all. Just thinking the phrase and whatever you want to turn into will result in you morphing into it. Naruto was bouncing with excitement, his 6-year-old mind trying to comprehend everything that was happening. Now bump my fist to seal the deal, the Kyuubi ordered, sticking out his fist through the water curtain. Naruto did as told, and power surged through him. The fox was grinning. Naruto was about to leave when he turned back. What's your name? The fox was stunned, as no one had ever bothered to ask before. He contemplated it for a while. Should the boy prove to be unworthy, he could always wipe that memory from the child's mind. Call me Kurama, Kit, and don't you go telling the other meatbags my name. Real world. You got it. From now on, it should be very easy to access your chakra, Narumi said. Naruto opened his eyes and nodded. Right. So I'll be teaching you 3 jutsus, the Henji no Jutsu, Transformation Jutsu, the Kawarimi no Jutsu, Substitution Jutsu, and the Bunshin no Jutsu, Clone Jutsu, Kakashi said, but first you need to learn the basic 12 hand seals. Na rat ushi ox tora tiger yu rabbit tatsu dragon me snake uma horse hetsuji ram saru monkey tori bird inu dog I boar. The henge, as the name suggests, allows you to apply an illusion over yourself to change your form. However, it will be disrupted if the enemy touches you, Kakashi explained. The hand seal is ram. Henge. In a burst of smoke, Kakashi transformed into a child. He then spoke as he dispelled the illusion. There's a jutsu called the solid henge, reserved for those with Kage level chakra pools. With enough chakra, the transformation is not an illusion, it will be real and won't dispel with a single touch. However, this costs way too much chakra to be efficient. The next is the Kawarimi no Jutsu, handy for getting out of sticky situations. It replaces yourself within any object nearby that you focus on, Kakashi said. This can be used to get away from an enemy attack. The hand seals are tiger, boar, ox, dog, snake. With enough practice, you can do it without seals. Lastly, the Bunshin no Jutsu. This is also an illusion like the henge, and creates clones. The clones dispel with a single hit as well. The hand seals are ram, snake, and tiger. However, with your high chakra levels, you probably can't get this jutsu right. So I would suggest the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Itachi finished because he himself was a master at the Kage Bunshin. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Right. This is the hand seal, Kakashi said, crossing the index and middle fingers of both hands. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted after replicating the seal, and with a burst of smoke, several hundred shadow clones filled the area. No, I think that's overkill, Narumi pointed out. Itachi and Kakashi were literally mind-blown at the sheer number of clones. That many clones would have killed any other person. Well, the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu has many advantages. It is a solid clone, for one, so it can fight for you. However, with a blow strong enough, it will dispel. 2. When it dispels, the memories of it will return to you. Say, if your clone sees a piece of paper with important information and you are far, far away, when it dispels, the information will come to you. Doesn't that mean that I can use it for training and muscle memory? Naruto asked. Narumi was impressed by his conclusion. Indeed, that was the main reason why Kakashi wanted to teach him the Kage Bunshin. That's right. Something that takes 2 hours alone will only take 1 hour with a single clone. With the number of clones you can produce, you could easily train a year's worth of experience within 3 days, Itachi said. Also, now that you can make so many clones, we can split them into groups for your training with us 3 so we don't need to take turns. Naruto's eyes were literally stars when he found out the endless possibilities of the shadow clone technique. I'll be teaching you L variations of the Kage Bunshin like the Tajua Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Mass Shadow Clone Jutsu, and the Bunshin Daibakuha, Clone Great Explosion. Now split into 3 groups. We'll initiate training immediately, Itachi ordered. While your clones train, you'll be studying. But why? Naruto whined. Narumi answered, if you are all bronze and no brains, your training will be useless. Fine, Naruto gave in, picking up 2 books that Itachi and Narumi gave him. I'll make Chapter 2 extras. Narumi answered, if you are all bronze and no brains, your training will be useless. Fine, Naruto gave in, picking up 2 books that Itachi and Narumi gave him. Kakashi was about to contribute his own book when Narumi glared at him. Kakashi-senpai, I swear if you give him the Aika that you love so much, I'll steal your whole collection. Then I'll burn them in front of your eyes, one by one, and you won't be able to do anything about it. Needless to say, Kakashi changed the hiding place of his collection when he returned home that day. Naruto flipped through the pages quickly, finding them easy to remember. By 10 minutes he had finished both books. Narumi stopped her training with his clones and turned to look at the original. That is not reading, Naruto-kun. You're just skimming through the pages, she accused. No. I finished both of them, Naruto retorted. Narumi picked up one of the books, flipping to a random page and asked, fine. What's the 6th sentence on page 117? Naruto recited, the defeat of Uchiha Madara left him disgraced, and he vowed never to return to Konoha ever again. Narumi eyed him with disbelief. Did you use your Sharingan for that? She asked. Wait, the Sharingan can do that? Naruto answered, yes. But seeing your response, you didn't use it. I think you have eidetic memory, Narumi said, impressed. That means I'm going to give you a pile of new books. Naruto sighed and accepted his fate. Naruto, I need you to come here for a second, Kakashi requested. What do you need, Kakashi-sensei? Channel chakra into this paper, Kakashi requested. He did as told. The paper, with a sickening rip, quartered itself. Each part burst into flames, wrinkled, crumbled to dust and became wet respectively. Kakashi was mind-blown. I've never heard of a person with 5 elements. The most I saw was 4, but all 5. Itachi turned to Naruto with his Sharingan activated. Naruto, are you hiding something from us? I swear, Itachi-sensei, I'm not hiding anything from you except the fox. Naruto proceeded to explain his encounter with the fox to all three senseis. That's interesting. With your enhanced senses, speed, strength, chakra level and chakra control, it should make the job easier for us, Itachi said. Also, your two Tomo's Sharingan. Kakashi straightened up. Well, that's fine, I can teach him the 3 elements I copied and the one I have. Let's get to work, Itachi said, cracking his knuckles. After all, you're joining the academy tomorrow. You must make a good impression. A year later, while on a mission, Uchiha Shursui unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan, an advanced form of the Sharingan, in a fight against Ao of Kiri. It was in that fight that he earned the nickname Shunshin no Shursui of the body flicker, for his mastery over the Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker jutsu. Another year later, there had been some unrest within the Uchiha clan, and the elders had ordered Shursui to massacre the clan. He had contacted Itachi and Narumi about what to do. Naka River. The two 13-year-olds met their friend and teammate at the cliff above the river after training Naruto. It was in the evening. The sun had already begun to set. Shursui, what happened to you? Narumi asked when she noticed Shursui's empty eye socket. Shursui explained, on the way here, I was attacked by Danzo and his lapdogs. He managed to get my right eye. I used the Shunshin to escape. That bastard, Narumi seethed. If she got her hands on him, he would be in for a world of pain. Itachi, you need to stop the clan from finishing the coup. If they are successful, there will be a civil war in Konoha. I'm sure the other villages would not hesitate to make use of that to invade us. Then it'll turn to a full-blown shinobi world war, Shursui said. Kyuso. Itachi cursed when he realized what would happen. Narumi, I'm entrusting you with my remaining Mangekyo Sharingan. Shursui plucked his eyeball out of its socket and placed it into her hand. Then, gathering up his courage, he spoke his last words. Narumi-chan, I love you. Kissing her on the lips, he then jumped into the river from the clifftop that they were on. Shursui. Narumi cried as she watched her teammate of 5 years commit suicide. She couldn't help but cry, as did Itachi. When they spotted crying, their eyes took on a new pattern, the Mangekyo Sharingan. Itachi swore. I will massacre the clan, if that's what it takes to stop the coup and fulfill Shursui's last wish. Let me join you, Narumi said as she implanted Shursui's eye into one of her crows and dispelled it. No, Narumi-chan. I cannot let you take part in this. You still have a little brother to look after, Itachi said, determined not to make her a traitor along with him. Please, you have to let me help you with this, Narumi begged, hugging Itachi as if he was her last lifeline. Itachi sighed. This girl didn't know how to take no for an answer. Very well then, I will do so, thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me, Narumi replied. I love you, Itachi-kun. Itachi's eyes widened in shock before he calmed down as both walked away from the river. I love you too, Narumi-chan. That night in the Namikaze compound, the sounds of Narumi's moans filled the night as Itachi made sweet love to her. The next day, Itachi was on patrol when he spotted a mysterious man walking in the forest near the Uchiha clan. Identify yourself, Itachi ordered with the authority of Konoha's police force. Oh, I'm Uchiha Madara. Itachi narrowed his eyes. Say I believe you. What are you doing here? Just here to, destroy the village, Madara said. Itachi, with his quick thinking, replied, how about a deal? If I massacre the Uchiha clan for not taking your side all those years ago, will you spare the village? Madara seemed to think for a while before answering, deal. But I will be joining you, this is non-negotiable. Itachi answered, very well then. The massacre will be in a week's time with my fiancé. I'll be sparing my Ototo and Kaa-chan, is that fine with you? Yes. Let's meet here again in 1 week's time, Madara said before disappearing in a swirling pattern. Narumi, now his fiancé, had to know. They had planned the wedding already the day before the massacre. For now, he just had to finish his patrol shift and train Naruto for the last week. Talking about Naruto, the blonde had been a very promising shinobi. At 8 years old, Naruto was a Year 2 Academy student that had a high level of taijutsu only seen in some jonins. He was incredibly fast and flexible. His strength was also powered by his speed and chakra that he sent to his fists. In terms of ninjutsu, he possessed over 20 jutsus of each nature through years of hard training, heavy abuse of Kage Bunshin, and had even created 5 of his own, one for each nature. They were the Katan, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Fire Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Futon, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Wind Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Raitun, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Lightning Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Doton, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Earth Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and Suetun, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Water Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu. The Katan, Kage Bunshin, bursts into flames upon the enemy's contact, burning the opponent. The Futon, Kage Bunshin, is invisible, and when commanded to dispel, bursts into a tornado of wind blades that will cut any opponent nearby. The Raitun, Kage Bunshin, electrocutes the opponent when hit and dispelled, especially useful against opponents clad in metal armor. The Doton, Kage Bunshin, crumbles into a shower of dirt when dispelled and wraps around the enemy, encasing he or she in an earth prison. Last but not least, the Suetun, Kage Bunshin, explodes in a shower of water when dispelled. The water then wraps around the opponent like a bubble, trapping him or her. When used in conjunction with the Suetun, Suiro no Jutsu, Water Style, Water Prison Jutsu, This technique proves to be deadly as the opponent slowly loses oxygen and will die from asphyxiation. These jutsus retain the memories and are solid just like their parent technique, which by the way Naruto was now a master of to the point where he could do it without hand seals just like his kawarimi. On that subject, he had created a new version of the kawarimi where he could swap two objects that are not himself. Useful in some ways, like for example, if he wanted to steal a scroll inside a room without entering it, all he needed was a rock in his hand. Substituting, he now had the scroll instead of the rock. In fact, he could even substitute the scroll with a dummy scroll, making it even more sneaky. After he learned about the fourth Hokage's famous Hiruzen no Jutsu, Flying Raijin Jutsu, he had attempted to replicate it with kunais. All he did was to throw a kunai, then substitute himself with it. The only difference was that it was a one-way journey, without any flash and not as fast. The actual Hiruzen involved some Fuinjutsu and Jikuken ninjutsu, space-time ninjutsu. By marking special three-pronged kunais with Jutsushiki, technique formula, it allowed the user to teleport to that kunai instantaneously without any hand seals. Finally, a jutsu that he practiced frequently for field usage, the Maisegekyu no Jutsu, camouflage jutsu. It allowed him to blend into his surroundings completely, only sound was his enemy. However, his stealth skills made up for that, so it was fine. This jutsu does not work on the Sharingan or Byakugan, but Naruto is slowly mastering it to such a point where it is completely undetectable by sight alone or any dojutsu, as well without requiring hand seals. As for the genjutsu aspect, he was doing exceptionally well, as expected of a Sharingan user. He could break almost any genjutsu, and his casting of illusions was exemplary. He could affect the target's senses, bring back bad memories and make them relive it. He could also affect the environment, conjuring illusionary rain and things like that. His Fuinjutsu was also outstanding, though it was not a surprise because of his Uzumaki blood. A level 5 seal master at the age of 8 was simply unheard of, until now. He had enough skill to seal curses, fires, erect barriers and summon things. He has created 3 Fuinjutsu. One is the Gojo Kibakufuda, tandem explosive tags, another one is the Fuinjutsu, Shurshur Juin, sealing jutsu, 4 limbs weight seal, and the last one is the Gojo Kunai Renan, tandem kunai barrage. Firstly, the Gojo Kibakufuda. It was a simple explosive tag with a small addition, a replication seal that would create an identical tag. The chakra circuit was such that it would first replicate the original tag before exploding. Then the other tag would create another tag before exploding as well, so on and so forth. This would result in a huge chain reaction with the power of a nuclear bomb at maximum. The best part? The only real tag was the first one, the rest were all copies of the first, so little effort was required to create such tags. The Fuinjutsu, Shurshur Jun, basically acted as training weights. They provided resistance against Naruto's movements, forcing him to use more strength in whatever he does. When the weights are released, his muscles use the same effort, this time without resistance, making him stronger and faster. It was definitely better than using physical weights, because in real life no enemy would give you time to remove your weights. The seals could be deactivated with a simple yell of Kai, release. Lastly, his Gojo Kunai Renan. It used the same principle as the Gojo Kibakufuda and creates another kunai, which creates another kunai, and creates another kunai. The number of kunais depend on how much chakra is applied to the seal, which is placed on the handle. The chakra depletes as each kunai is summoned until it runs out. The same rule applies to the tandem explosive tags to control the explosive power. For his kenjutsu, one could say he was proficient in it, enough to beat most other wielders of a sword. He was near the level of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shishinen Shu, 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, a reason why Kakashi gave him the Hako Chakura 2, white light chakra saber. His progress was quite impressive for one so young. His sensor abilities had also evolved to a whole new level. With an ability called the Kagura no Shingon, Mind's Eye of the Kagura, he could find, sense and track individuals through their chakra over a vast range that exceeds 10 kilometers. The ability extends to telling when a person is lying from the fluctuations in a person's chakra made from dishonest emotions or detecting if someone, including himself, is under a genjutsu. Also, by focusing on a particular chakra, Naruto can perceive its location and movement with great detail. Those were just the general abilities. He could also activate it with 2 other modes, short range and long range. The short range allowed him to sense when a blow is about to connect with him, preventing him from being hit by the opponent's melee attacks. The long range alerts him whenever the enemy uses projectile attacks. This prevents him from being hit by their projectile attacks. Finally, his Sharingan, it was fully matured, with many abilities. It allowed him to see chakra flow, its colors, types, and the ability to tell if someone was under a genjutsu by checking for any irregularities in the flow. It also granted him an extreme clarity of perception, which allowed him to pick up on subtle details, enabling him to lip read or mimic pencil movements. The Sharingan could also see through vision-impairing screens. The perception ability extends to being able to track fast-moving objects before finally giving some amount of predictive capabilities to Naruto, allowing him to see the image of an attacker's next move from the slightest muscle tension in their body and counterattack or dodge without any wasted movement. The third and most well-known ability was to copy most techniques, excluding Kekkei Genkai and jutsus dependent on other factors like summons that the user has not signed. Naruto can memorize ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu with near-perfect accuracy, enabling him to use the techniques as his own, or even modify them to create his own new techniques. This was what made learning from his senseis easier. Naruto's final commonly used ability is being capable of inducing a unique type of hypnosis that involves suggesting actions and thoughts to the opponent through genjutsu cast by simple eye contact between both parties. This was the same ability Madara used to control Kurama, and apparently could be used to do the same with the other Bija and enemy summons. In Naruto's opinion, the most powerful aspect of the Sharingan was genjutsu. As with other genjutsu cast by the Sharingan are capable of putting an opponent to sleep, inducing paralysis, replaying memories to someone else via genjutsu, or creating various illusions to deceive someone or torture the person. I.e., Naruto's payback to the villagers. He had yet to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan, but was not eager as it required the death of someone close to him. Last but not least, Naruto had taken an interest in archery. His aim was perfect just like his Shuriken Jutsu, because of the Sharingan and his sensor abilities. That was his preferred choice of weaponry. Combined with his Maiseigaku no Jutsu, it made him a deadly assassin especially in the forest. Back to Itachi, he was running back to Anbu HQ to end his shift. Then he would train Naruto. Training Ground 7. Itachi walked into the forest clearing, spotting Naruto talking to Narumi and Kakashi. Itachi spoke up. "Hey Naruto! Let's spar." Said blonde was dressed in a black Uzumaki jumpsuit. There was a sheath and the white light chakra saber in it strapped to his back diagonally, and crossing it was a quiver of arrows. His belt held a kunai pouch at the back where he stored all his special kunai. Above that was a sheath for a dagger. Strapped to his left leg was a shuriken pouch, while his right had a kunai holster. On his right arm was a Senbon launcher, something that Naruto had taken to because it was similar to a bow and used its tsuru, bowstring, to launch 5 Senbon at once, and they were poison-coated. Underneath it was a pouch filled with Senbon. On his left arm was a storage seal for his war bow. It was an upper body-long golden composite bow with a chakra thread as its bowstring, capable of firing an arrow at a target up to 6 kilometers away. Also, the center of the bow was separable, meaning that when it was split into two, it was 2 golden parts connected by a chakra thread and nunchaku. Both hands were covered by black, fingerless gloves that had chakra metal plating. Unknown to Itachi and the other senseis, Naruto had spring-loaded kunais under his sleeves, perfect for assassination and last-minute countering. Both Itachi and Naruto were holding the seal of confrontation as the rules of traditional shinobi sparring dictated. "Hajime!" Kakashi yelled. The combatants activated their Sharingan at the same time. The sky darkened to a blood red as they began their match. Naruto charged forward, as did Itachi. A bow materialized in his hand. Drawing an arrow, he fired it at Itachi's head. Itachi dodged narrowly with his Sharingan. Naruto smirked as he did a kawarimi with the arrow. The bow split into a nunchaku with the release of a catch, and Naruto swung it to meet the back of Itachi's head. The Uchiha ducked, before spinning around and delivering a kick to Naruto's stomach. Naruto sidestepped it, and grabbed Itachi's stray leg. At the same time, he spun 180 degrees and shot out his right leg at his sensei. Itachi had no choice because he was trapped by Naruto's hold over his leg, so he took the kick. When it connected with his chest, blood spurted out of his mouth, such was Naruto's strength. Naruto released Itachi's leg and ran towards him. Itachi delivered quick punches to his stomach, then backflipping, he yelled, "Katan, Gokaki no Jutsu, fire style, fireball jutsu." The flames engulfed Naruto and incinerated him. Just then, the whole world became brighter again. Both combatants were still at their original spots at the start of the match, their Sharingan glowing. "No more genjutsu," Naruto declared. "Agreed," Itachi replied as he formed hand seals while running towards Naruto. "Katan, Gokaki no Jutsu," Itachi called, a fireball shooting out from his mouth. "Suetun, Suijin Hiki, water style, water formation wall." Naruto countered while weaving 5 hand seals. The water clashed with the fire, forming a smoke screen. However, that was nothing against both Sharingan users. Itachi lunged at him with a kunai, slashing downwards at his protege. To his surprise, a kunai shot out of Naruto's sleeve and into his hand, which Naruto used to block the attack. Naruto knocked the other kunai as well as Itachi's arm away and, switching to a reverse grip, did a horizontal swipe at Itachi's throat. The Uchiha ducked down low, then tried to sweep Naruto's legs. Naruto jumped up high and, keeping the kunai, his left hand deftly moved to his Senbon launcher and fired off his poison Senbon at his sensei while flipping over to the other side. When they struck Itachi, he dispersed into a murder of crows. "Karasa Bunshin, crow clone?" Naruto thought. The crows then swarmed him. "Nanajuni Henge, Washi, 72 transformations, eagle." The blonde morphed into an eagle, scaring the crows away. When he returned to his original state, Itachi leapt from one of the nearby trees towards him. Naruto grabbed hold of Itachi's arms, then did a back roll while kicking Itachi in the stomach. This sacrifice throw flung Itachi 5 meters away where he rolled to a stop. Itachi got up, as did Naruto. Then both threw kunai at each other. The kunais deflected each other, causing a loud think sound when they clashed. Naruto reached for his kunai pouch, pulling out one of his special kunai. He threw it at Itachi after charging chakra through the seal, causing it to multiply. Gojo kunai Rindan. Itachi removed a kunai from his holster, and with his Sharingan, deflected them off one by one. Impressive, Naruto thought. There were at least 60 kunai he had to deflect. Suddenly he felt cold steel on his neck. Yield, spoke Itachi. The one deflecting the kunais dispersed, revealing it to be a Kage Bunshin. Naruto chuckled as he too dispelled. Lighting shot out and through the kunai, electrocuted Itachi. Right-on Kage Bunshin? Interesting, Itachi thought. Then he spun around and roundhouse kicked the real Naruto to the ground. Pressing a kunai to his neck, he said again, yield. Naruto nodded. Both did the seal of reconciliation and the blonde got helped up. Itachi said, you almost got me there. I've got to train more. Well, Naruto, I deemed you worthy to learn this technique, Kakashi said as he stuck out his right hand. His left hand was grabbing the wrist of his right. Itachi asked, that? Are you sure, Kakashi-senpai? Kakashi nodded. Itachi then walked over to Narumi to discuss the massacre and the masked man while Kakashi taught Naruto the technique. Chakra swirled into a single point on top of Kakashi's palm. Then it warped into a glowing blue orb. Naruto, who was watching the whole progress with his Sharingan, copied it immediately. That's called the Rasengan, spiraling sphere, an A-rank technique invented by my sensei the Yondaime Hokage, Kakashi said. And your father, he added in his thoughts. Naruto was excited learning his idol's technique was awesome. Now, my sensei intended to add his chakra nature to it. Unfortunately, he died before that could happen. I want you to try and take it up, Naruto grinned. He would do what his idol couldn't. Let's see, Futon is the most offensive chakra nature, so I will try using that. Naruto deduced. Very good, Naruto. I won't hinder your progress, tell me when you have completed the technique, eh? Kakashi praised. I have already tried adding right unto it. It was unsuccessful, but I came up with my special technique, the Chidori, 1,000 birds. Naruto nodded, then focused on the orb in his hand. He tried adding his wind elemental affinity to it. To his surprise, 4 small white blade-looking protrusions appeared along the orb's circumference, making it look like a miniature Fuma Shuriken, Demon Wind Shuriken. It produced a loud buzzing noise, though that was not a surprise due to the massive amount of Futon chakra present. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Clash it with my Rasengan, it should cancel mine out if your jutsu is near completion. Naruto ran towards Kakashi, then raised the bladed sphere to meet Kakashi's Rasengan. A giant explosion ensued, throwing the silver-haired Nin back 50 meters. Kakashi's hand was steaming and was wrecked with countless lacerations, no doubt a result of the wind blades in Naruto's version of the Rasengan. Meanwhile, Naruto was still standing at the same spot where he clashed with Kakashi, seemingly unaffected. Okami, what the hell was that? Kakashi thought, frowning. The shockwave alone had thrown him back so far, then the wind blades had cut his hand. If that was bigger and was used on the body, Kakashi thought, then shivered. He gave a thumbs up to his 8-year-old charge. That was good, Naruto. However, I think the damage would be exponentially increased if the shuriken was bigger, and I think if you use it against the body, it might sever some nerves or destroy the chakra circulatory network. Naruto smiled broadly. To think that he was already taking his idol's jutsu to the next step. Alright. Naruto-kun, that's all for training today. Take it as a reward for upgrading the 4th Rasengan, Itachi spoke. He was impressed by Naruto's progress. Naruto nodded happily and left the training ground for some Ichiraku ramen. 6 days later, evening. The newlyweds Uchiha Itachi and Namake's Narumi went to the same spot that Itachi had spotted the masked man. Right, let's get going, Madara drawled as he dropped down from a tree he was sitting on. He rubbed his hands in glee, excited about the bloodbath to follow. Itachi approached the 2 guards at the door. Oh, good evening, Itachi-sam. The guards' words were cut off as both fell under Itachi's blade before they could even utter the last syllable. Narumi, you take the left. Madara, the right. I'll take the clan head section in the middle. Is that fine? Itachi said. The 2 nodded and went their ways. Throughout the compound, cries of agony were heard. Blood sprayed on the walls, accompanied by tortured screams. Madara was slashing his way through, as did Narumi despite the occasional rebellious Uchiha. None of them were matches for the trio. Itachi had already slaughtered his way into the main house, so he paused, looking at his parents who were facing away from him. Itachi, I know what you're here for. I agree that this has to be done, Fugaku, the Uchiha clan head spoke. Turning to his father, Itachi replied, it was nice knowing you too, Sama. Blood painted the walls a crimson red, the same color as Itachi's eyes now. He turned to his mother. Ka-san, take care of Sasuke, alright? Mikoto nodded before she was knocked unconscious by a chop to the neck. Itachi detected another presence in the room. It was near the doors. Nisan? A young Sasuke asked. Itachi looked at him, the Mangekyo making eye contact with Sasuke's onyx eyes. Tsukuyomi, Itachi uttered. It was a genjutsu unbreakable by all who did not possess the Mangekyo Sharingan, its eternal variant, or the Rinnegan. A day in that world was but a second in the real one. Itachi made Sasuke watch his parents' death, or at least it seemed like it for Mikoto. Over and over again, for 72 hours. After Itachi released the jutsu, Sasuke screamed, "Why?" Itachi answered, "It was to test my strength, but I'll let you live. There is no value in killing the likes of you, my foolish brother. If you want to kill me, curse me. Hate me. And live a long and unsightly life. Run away, and cling to your pitiful life. And then someday, when you have the same eyes as I do, come before me." With a last glare with his Mangekyo, Itachi's body flickered away to Narumi and Madara. That night, the three fled Konoha. Omake, Chapter 4 Extras. Said blonde was dressed in a black Uzumaki jumpsuit. Kakashi had suggested wearing a mask like he did to conceal the lower half of his face. Why so? Kakashi said that it was to prevent fangirls that would eventually come after him because of his looks. The 8-year-old laughed and replied, "Then let them." He didn't know how much trouble he could have saved himself from if he had listened to Kakashi. The next morning, Mikoto groaned as she sat up in the hospital bed. She grimaced as she remembered what had transpired yesterday. Her son and daughter-in-law had left Konoha. Then she remembered her promise to Narumi. She had asked her to take care of Naruto. She decided she was going to adopt him. Later that month, Mikoto's relationship with Sasuke had turned sour because she did not wish revenge on Itachi like he did. So Mikoto gathered her things and acquired a 2-bedroom apartment, leaving the Uchiha compound to Sasuke. After Itachi and Narumi left, Mikoto, Guy, Kurenai and Yugao took over his Sharingan, Taijutsu, Genjutsu and Kenjutsu training respectively. Naruto, however, didn't have a few ninjutsu teachers, so they had to give him books to study. 4 years later, Naruto was sitting in class, drumming his fingers impatiently while waiting for his teacher, Yumino Irika, to arrive. The class was talking as usual. Uchiha Sasuke sat brooding near the window, observing the outside. His 2 fangirls, Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino, were fawning over him, arguing about who was the better wife for him. Hyuga Hinata was, for some reason, stealing glances at him which he pretended not to notice. Inuzuka Kiba was busy talking to his Niken, ninja hound, Akamaru. Aburame Shino was just sitting there as usual, seemingly thinking about something. Akimichi Choji was eating chips from a giant bag while his friend Naro Shikamaru the lazy genius was sleeping. Naruto sighed. Some things never changed. This was his 6th and last year at the academy. The door opened to reveal a Chunin who had a long scar running across the bridge of his nose. This was their instructor, Irika. "All right, class, settle down. Today is your last day in the academy, something which I'm sure you're proud of. You'll finally become a genin, a shinobi of Konohagakure. Now, as stated yesterday, you have an exam before you are assigned to a team tomorrow," Irika stated. "Now I want Aburame Shino to proceed to the examination room. Follow Mizuki-san and I." As the list went in alphabetical order, Naruto was last, being in Uzumaki. 40 minutes later, he was called. Examination room, Uzumaki. Naruto. "Perform the Academy 3, Mizuki requested with contempt in his eyes. Irika held a clipboard, ready to take notes. "The henge, the kawarimi and the bunshin." "Henge!" Naruto exclaimed, transforming into the Yandame Hokage. When he reverted back though, Irika and Mizuki looked like they had seen a ghost. Naruto had looked like a miniature version of the Yandame Hokage. "Kawarimi no jutsu," Naruto said, swapping himself with the chair. "Alright, last one," Mizuki said with glee, for he knew that Naruto couldn't do the bunshin due to his chakra control. Despite the increased chakra control that Kurama had given him, so did his chakra levels, and it still wasn't enough to perform a healthy bunshin. Naruto improvised and said, "Due to my chakra control, I cannot perform the bunshin no jutsu. Therefore I suggest something better. Kage bunshin no jutsu." A clone burst into existence even without Naruto forming a seal. Irika raised an eyebrow at the B-rank kenjutsu created by Naidame Hokage being used by a genin, much less without a single hand seal. Mizuki gave a poorly hidden smile. "I'm sorry, Naruto. If you can't even do the bunshin no jutsu, I can't pass you." Naruto slumped visibly, but replied, "That's fine, Mizuki-sensei. I can always try again next year." Then he left the room. Sitting on the swing in the academy's playground, he slowly rocked himself while thinking about the faces that Mizuki were exhibiting throughout the whole test. Something was off. 3 minutes later, Mizuki exited the room. He came up to the blonde and said, "I'm sorry, Naruto. I really am. But you've got to understand, with chakra control this pur, I can't promote you." Naruto sighed and nodded. "But there's another way I'll pass you." "What do you think?" Naruto gave an interested look. "I need you to steal the forbidden scroll of sealing for me. If you can do that, I'll promote you," Mizuki whispered. The blonde's eyes widened. So that's what the bastard was after he decided to play alone. "When and where can I meet you, sensei?" 7 p.m., at the forest near the northern edge of the village, Mizuki answered while smirking inwardly at his plan's success. "Alright. See you then," Naruto called as he took off. Mizuki sneered as watched the boy take off. "Just give this to Orochimaru-sama, and I can leave the village." Mizuki thought, "I'll be a jonin there in Odo, then I can get everything I want." Hokage's office. Naruto knocked on the door. "Come in," Hiruzen said. The blonde entered the room, much to the Hokage's delight, so that he could take a break from the paperwork. What did you need, Naruto-kun? Hokage-sama. I've come to report what I think is a traitor to the village, Naruto said seriously. The Hokage sat up straight, paying close to the next words from the blonde. I failed my genin exam today due to not being able to do the Bunshin no Jutsu. I suggested doing the Kage Bunshin, which I showed, however Mizuki said he couldn't pass me if I couldn't even do a simple Bunshin. Later he said alone to me that he would pass me if I stole the forbidden scroll of sealing and meet him at the northern forests this evening at 7. I suspect that he's running away, or else there'll be no reason to meet him so far away from the village. Most likely, running to a village in the north, Naruto reported. This is troubling news, Hiruzen said. I've got a plan. Take the scroll of sealing and meet him there. If he tries anything, my Anbu will be there to subdue him. Thank you, Hokage-sama, though I think I can take him on alone. The backup is appreciated, Naruto said. Then he left the office, preparing his gear for tonight. At 6:30, he picked up the scroll from the Hokage and moved to the forests along with 3 Anbu agents. He still had 10 minutes to spare when he got there, so he opened the scroll and read it. Inside it was a list of many kinjutsu, the first of which was the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. With his Sharingan activated, he had quickly read through everything and memorized the scroll's contents. Then he sealed the scroll as he detected a presence 500 meters away. Kagura no Shingon, Naruto called, his sensor abilities stretching out in a radius of 1 kilometer. That chakra is Mizuki's, Naruto thought, preparing to meet the traitorous Chunin. Naruto! Give me the scroll! Mizuki ordered, sticking out his hand. On his back were 2 Fuma Shuriken. So, do I really pass? Naruto asked innocently in a cheerful way. Yes, now give me the scroll. Mizuki replied, slightly ticked off about the delay. Where's my headband then? Are you lying to me, Mizuki-sensei? Naruto asked. Oh, I'll tell you who's really lying to you, Naruto. They've been lying your whole life to you, Naruto. Since that decree 12 years ago, everyone knows except you. The decree is no one can tell you the 9-tailed demon fox is inside you. The fox spirit that destroyed our village has taken over your body. You are the 9-tailed fox. What Mizuki didn't expect was the grin that Naruto cracked, before it turned into full-blown laughter. Ha 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 ha. Naruto chortled, tears falling from his eyes. His right hand was slapping his knee as if Mizuki just told a joke. The Chunin glared at Naruto. What's so funny? Suddenly his laughter stopped as Naruto fixed a stare on Mizuki. You think I didn't know? Mizuki blinked in surprise, which was all that Naruto needed. In a burst of speed, he appeared in front of Mizuki, his right hand wrapped around his throat and lifting him up off the floor. Mizuki looked into his eyes fearfully, and that proved to be a mistake as Naruto had his Sharingan activated. A second later, he let go of Mizuki as said traitor dropped to the floor, never to wake up again. Though he was not dead, that was the TNI's job. Anbu. You can get him now. He's not dead, but he won't wake up again. Perhaps you can take him to Inoichi-san, Naruto said. Yamanaka Inoichi was one of the head interrogators in TNI, famous for his clan's techniques involving mind possession jutsus. He could rifle through anyone's memories with a single jutsu and could take control of his enemy and make them fight each other. The Anbu nodded and 2 picked up the body. Naruto handed the scroll over to the remaining one. Hokage's office. I see the mission was a success, the Hokage said as watched the unconscious Mizuki getting hauled into the room. Naruto nodded in response. Hiruzen picked up a black hideite from his desk drawer and handed it to him with pride. I'm glad you're finally a shinobi, Naruto-kun. At least you're out of the civilian council's hands, the Sandaime said. Take a break. Tomorrow is your team assignment. Naruto bowed. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Just as he stepped out of the room, the Hokage said, and I saw what you did with the scroll. I'll let you off just this once, okay? Just try not to end up killing yourself, knowing all the jutsus in there. Naruto grinned and left for home. He had some new jutsus to work on. Apartment. Tadaima. Naruto called from the door as he opened it. He went over to his bedroom/study room and shut the door. Picking up a notebook, he sat down and began writing the kinjutsu that he planned to learn from the scroll. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, A-Rank Kinjutsu, Ninjutsu and Shuriken Jutsu. Ox, dog, dragon, rat, dog, boar, snake, tiger. The user creates 1,000 shadow clones from one shuriken, striking down the enemy. This is a technique that combines ninja tools with ninjutsu. Compared to normal shadow clones, clones of material objects are said to be on a far higher level. There is no need for preparations beforehand, like stocking up on shurikens or kunais, yet since the shadow clones are real and not illusions, all the shadow blades that fly around are equally lethal. Because the clones form in just an instant, completely evading them is next to impossible. This technique can also be used on Fuma Shuriken, increasing its lethality. It also appears to be usable on kunais. Naruto smiled. This jutsu could be used to replace his Gojo Kunai Renan, Hiraishin no Jutsu, S-Rank Kinjutsu, Ninjutsu and Jakuken Ninjutsu. Seal of Confrontation. To activate this technique, the user places a special seal or jutsushiki to mark an intended destination. After this is done, they can at will enter a dimensional void that instantaneously transports them to the location of the seal. The mark can be applied to almost any area through brief physical contact, including an opponent or other surrounding feature. Because this technique is able to affect anything that is in contact with the user or somehow connected to their chakra, they can also use this technique to teleport other objects or people, though the size of the object dictates the amount of chakra required. He couldn't believe his luck. He had found the Yandame's jutsu. All it needed was some seal breakdown, and he should have it learnt within a few weeks. Mastery, though, was a whole different idea. Byakugo no In, strength of 100 seal S rank Fuin Jutsu. It is a seal which is reputed to be the pinnacle of chakra control. By storing a vast amounts of chakra over an extended period of time into a specific point on their body, usually the forehead, the user creates this seal, which manifests in the form of a rhombus-like marking. Once the seal is formed, the user's already impressive chakra control allows them to perform techniques without any wasted energy. When released, the seal will either spread across the user's face or wrap around their entire body. The stored chakra is then released into their body, greatly amplifying their medical techniques and giving them access to both Creation Rebirth and the Ninja Art Creation Rebirth Strength of 100 technique. The user of this technique can also transfer the chakra from their seal into another individual, with the strength of 100 patterns spreading around the body of the recipient. Kit, my first container Uzumaki Mito had the Byakugo no In, Kurama said. Perhaps you might want to take after her. Naruto just nodded at the facts. Infuin, Kai-in seal, release S-rank Kinjutsu, Fuinjutsu. After focusing and storing an amount of chakra over a period of time in the strength of 100 seal on the user's forehead, the user can release any amount of chakra with this technique by dispersing the seal and pumping the stored chakra back into the user's body. Sozo Seize, Creation Rebirth S-rank Kinjutsu, Ninjutsu, Iryo Ninjutsu, Medical Ninjutsu. Tiger. The absolute pinnacle of medical ninjutsu, created by the greatest of medical ninja, Tsunade, it is the ultimate regeneration technique. By releasing the great volume of chakra stored in her forehead at once, the body cell division is forcibly stimulated by proteins, reconstructing all organs and all tissues making up the human body. The technique itself does not regenerate the old cells, rather it hastens the creation of new ones through division. If this technique is used, a body whose vital organs are so gravely injured that it cannot bear it any longer will be instantly restored to its uninjured state. By Tsunade's own claim, as long as she has chakra it is impossible for her to die by any means. As such she gains a form of immortality throughout the duration of the technique. However, a body's cells can only split a certain number of times in a lifetime, and by speeding up this process, users of this technique are basically shortening their natural lifespan. Interesting, Naruto decided to learn this technique, however only use it when the situation was dire and even his healing factor couldn't help him, e.g. a mortal wound. He would later place the seal on his forehead and store chakra. Ninpo Sozo Seize, Byakugo no Jutsu, Ninja Art Creation Rebirth, strength of 100 Jutsu S-rank Kinjutsu, Ninjutsu, Iryo Ninjutsu. While very similar in nature to its parent technique, which also regenerates the user's wounds via accelerated cell division, the strength of 100 technique has a continuous, automatic effect that will heal any damage that the user sustains instantly without the need to make hand seals or even a conscious effort to activate the healing process as long as they have chakra left. Naruto's eyes widened. So this was the secret to the legendary strength of the slug Sannin Tsunade. She could punch through thick brick walls without even breaking her hand. This explained it. Naruto was definitely going to learn this. Then he remembered seeing Gai-sensei's techniques in the scroll. The Emote Range, Primary Lotus, Yura Range, Hidden Lotus, Asakujaku, Morning Peacock, Hiradora, Daytime Tiger, Sekizo, Evening Elephant, and Yorahu, Night Phoenix. Omote Range, B-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. The Primary Lotus requires the opening of the first of the Hashimen, 8 gates, giving the user 5 times their normal strength. The user kicks the opponent into the air and then uses Kage Bio, Shadow of the Dancing Leaf, to match the opponent's movement and position in midair while behind them. Once behind the enemy, the user restrains them and pile drives them into the ground head first while rotating at a ferocious speed. This can also be used on multiple people. However, the use of the 8 gates will leave the user extremely fatigued, making this technique a double-edged sword. Yura Range, A-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. This technique is an advanced and more destructive version of the Primary Lotus, which requires that at least 3 chakra gates be opened. Once enough gates are opened, the user kicks the target into the air and continues to strike them at inhuman speeds before hitting them with a final, powerful open-handed strike and kick at the same time, sending the target crashing into the ground, which is usually fatal due to the speed and power behind the attack. Because so many chakra gates are opened at once, this technique can only be used once, since the user will likely be unable to stand afterwards. Naruto, however, could withstand the effects of using the 8 gates due to his Uzumaki vitality. Asakujaku, A-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. The Morning Peacock is a certain kill taijutsu born from the philosophy of Meido Gai. The principle of this taijutsu is to rapidly increase the body's abilities by opening up to and including the 6th of the 8 gates, and then to strike the enemy down with countless punches. The technique is started by kicking the enemy into the air, which for most would be an instant kill. The user then jumps into the air in a distinctive stance and begins punching the enemy repeatedly. The punches are so fast, they are set ablaze by sheer speed and friction, which in turn creates a peacock-like fan of flames around the opponent. Once the attack is finished, the enemy will be sent crashing back to the ground, covered with the attack's aura. Hiradora, A-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. After opening the 7th of the 8 gates, the user places a palm facing forward in front of their face with one hand and then taps it with his other hand, formed into a fist, which creates a massive amount of air pressure. Next, the user forms a unique hand seal resembling a tiger. This launches the air pressure at the opponent in the shape of one by leaving a gigantic tiger-shaped impression into the initially built-up air pressure with the hand seal. The air pressure will condense as it's moving and be focused into a single point. The technique then explodes on command, releasing the built-up air pressure in an instant. Sekizo, A-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. The Evening Elephant is a high-level, forbidden taijutsu that can be performed by those users who have opened all 8 gates. This technique is a continuous assault of 5 punches, with each foot as they are referred to being performed faster than the one before. It creates a vacuum of pressurized air which bears the appearance of an elephant's leg, causing devastating damage to the opponent. The first punch alone is capable of creating a massive and deep tunnel in the ground, while the last has enough power to destroy a mountain. Yorahu, A-rank Kinjutsu, Taijutsu. The user is covered by flames, in a specific shape as though resembling a phoenix. When the move hits, the opponent goes ablaze. Naruto shut his notebook after drafting the Hiraishin Jutsushiki and marking himself with the Byakugo no In. Sealing it with a blood seal, he shoved it into his drawer. Tomorrow was going to be a long day. The next day, Naruto yawned and stretched himself as sunlight struck his face. It was 6 o'clock, 1 hour before the team assignments. As he got up, he deactivated the Byakugo no In and watched it disappear as he channeled chakra to it. He had left it activated last night to amass chakra while he was sleeping. Naruto got into his shinobi outfit, complete with his tanto, shuriken, kunai, marked kunai and senbon. When he got into the kitchen, Mikoto was already preparing breakfast. "Ohayo, Naruto-kun," the blonde replied with an ohayo. Ka-chan Mikoto was his surrogate mother, so he felt it fitting to call her that. After brushing his teeth, he sat down and ate garlic toast. "So, today's your team assignments, right?" Mikoto asked. Naruto nodded enthusiastically. "Who would like to team up with in your class?" "I would say practically anyone who is not a fangirl. That would mean only Hinata for the girl portion." "For the boys, I would prefer Shikamaru for his intellect and strategies," Naruto said, "though if both indeed become my teammates, they'll need some serious training on confidence and hard work." Mikoto agreed. Fangirls disgusted her as they ruined the reputations of real kunoichis. Meanwhile, her son disliked Naruto because of his connections with her in Itachi, so he wouldn't work well with the blonde. As for Kiba and Shino, both were trackers and wouldn't be needed because Naruto was currently the best sensor/tracker in the whole of Konoha. Therefore Hinata and Shikamaru were the best choices. Then again, most things didn't go their way. She wouldn't be surprised if the worst choices like Sasuke and some fangirl were his teammates. She would later curse herself for forgetting to say touch wood. Classroom. Naruto stepped into the class, much to the surprise of most people in the room. "Hey Dobe, what are you doing here?" "This is only for Genin," Sasuke said. Naruto replied, talked to the headband, then he sat down and began picking the dirt from his nails with a senbon. This unnerved everyone nearby, especially the squeamish fangirls. Finally he released the killing intent and kept his senbon, much to everyone's relief. Naruto smirked as watched Iruka walk in. "All right." Genin team assignments. Iruka started, looking at the clipboard. Teams 1 to 6, as well as 9 have passed last year, and are still in circulation. Teams 7, 8, and 10 are empty as last year's batch failed and had to be sent back to the academy for another year. "So, wait, sensei. Last year's teams 7, 8, and 10 failed? What do you mean? I thought we are all genin after passing the test and being assigned a team?" Sakura screeched. Iruka sighed, stroking the bridge of his nose. "No. After the team assignments, your sensei will have another test to deem if you are really worthy," Iruka stated. "As I was saying, Team 7, Uzumaki Naruto." Omake, Chapter 5 Deleted Scenes. As I was saying, Team 7, Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino, Iruka announced. The blonde's table broke as Naruto's fist slammed onto the table. "What?" he roared. The trauma of having 2 fangirls on his team was enough to make his Sharingan activate and morph into a Mangekyo. Suddenly, Iruka's clipboard burst into black flames. "Amaterasu!" Then with his left eye, he glared at Iruka, who met the gaze. "Tsukuyami! Die, Iruka-sensei!" Naruto yelled as he stabbed the Chunin with multiple swords for 3 days in the Genjutsu world. After breaking the Genjutsu, Naruto drew the white light chakra saber from his sheath and committed seppuku, suicide by disembowelment. "Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura," Iruka said. Naruto sighed, while Sasuke did a sharp intake of breath through his teeth. Sakura was overjoyed, and yelled, "Take that, Ino pig! I got Sasuke first!" The platinum blonde was fuming that her rival got in the same team as Sasuke. "Your sensei is Hatake Kakashi," Iruka continued, annoyed at the 2 fangirls' behaviors. "Right. So Team 8, Aburaim Shino, Inazuka Kiba and Hyuga Hinata. Your sensei is Yuhi Kurinai. Kiba gave a yahoo, while his other two teammates kept quiet. Interesting, his genjutsu teacher was Team 8's sensei. Team 10, Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Choji and Yamanaka Ino. Your sensei is Saratobi Asuma. Shikamaru yawned and sat up. Choji cheered for being with his friend while Ino slumped in defeat. A woman dressed in a red mesh blouse wrapped with multiple bandages entered the room. She had raven black hair and unique red eyes. This was Kurinai. Following her was a bearded man in a flak jacket, smoking a cigarette. He had a sash with the kanji for fire, marking him as one of the Shugenin Junichi, Guardian Shinobi 12. After picking up their respective teams and leaving, Sakura asked, "Where's our sensei?" Naruto and Irika shared a knowing look. As Irika left with his valuables, Naruto looked at his teammates. "I'm going for some training and won't come back for another 2.5 hours. Wanna come?" Naruto asked, but our sensei Sakura said before she was interrupted by Sasuke. "Let's go, if he keeps us waiting then so will we," the Uchiha spoke. Naruto nodded and added, "Besides, I know Kakashi-sensei very well. He'll always be late for 3 hours. Might as well make use of the time. How about sparring?" "You're on, Dobe," Sasuke spoke while exiting the room. "Come on, Sakura. Perhaps we can get you some training." Sakura relented only because Sasuke was leaving as well, so the trio left for Training Ground 7. Training Ground 7. "Alright, Sasuke. I'm ready, let's begin," Naruto said while cracking his knuckles. Sakura stood between the two. "Shinobi Q-Might, hand-to-hand combat. Hajime!" she yelled, cutting down her hand. The Uchiha rushed at him immediately as expected. Sasuke threw a punch, which Naruto parried quickly and landed a jab in his stomach. The emo flew backwards before a poof of smoke revealed that it was a broken log. Naruto smirked. Not bad, he thought as he analyzed the moves. The blonde instinctively spun around, swinging his elbow out to push Sasuke's fist away. The Uchiha swung his other fist, intent on catching Naruto with a hook. The blonde ducked under it effortlessly, then shaped his hand into a palm. He delivered a palm strike to Sasuke's stomach and sent him reeling back. The Raven glared at him, then jumped around in a roundhouse kick. Naruto weaved under it, which Sasuke made use of to turn it into an axe kick. The foot caught Naruto in the face if it weren't a bunshin. "What? Where are you? Show yourself!" Sasuke yelled out into the open. Naruto smirked, but made no effort to show himself. This was his Maisegekyo no Jutsu. The Uchiha began throwing an assortment of weapons towards the surrounding area. Naruto dodged them exponentially. Now was the real test. Naruto unsealed his bow and drew an arrow. Knocking it, he aimed it at the tree near Sasuke's head. His hand released the flight of the arrow, causing it to shoot towards the tree. As it whizzed by, Sasuke heard the sound and turned towards it. Once it impaled itself within the bark, the arrow turned visible. Sasuke's eyes scanned the arrow, determining its origin. There. Katon, Gokake no Jutsu. 6 seconds later and a fireball shot out of his mouth, heading straight for Naruto. The blonde dropped his camouflaging and formed 2 hand seals, Dragon and Ram. Doton, Dorihiki, Earth Style, Earth Wall. Naruto uttered as he slammed his hands onto the ground. A wall of stone rose from the floor, shielding Naruto from the fire. Efficiently, Naruto sealed away his bow and lifted a kunai from his holster. Just in time, it seemed, to block Sasuke's. The Raven did a brutal chop to Naruto's wrist, sending his kunai into the air. Sasuke quickly followed that up with a downward slash of his kunai, but Naruto rolled to the side and stood up behind him. Jumping into the air, Naruto did a front flip with his leg extended, kicking the kunai into the floor with an axe kick. In its path, it scraped Sasuke's cheek before planting itself into the ground. "Tsuke," the Raven growled as he sent a fist at Naruto's stomach, throwing the blonde back. Naruto rolled to a stop in a crouching position, before flashing through 7 hand seals. Katon, Hozenka Tsumabini, Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Shuriken Jutsu. The blonde jumped back into the air, spewing fire with one hand at his mouth while unleashing a volley of shuriken with the other. The shuriken caught fire and took towards their target. Sasuke immediately got ready to parry them away with his kunai. When he did so, his kunai had several indents where there was metallic liquid. The fire from the shurikens melted parts of kunai. Naruto landed on his feet perfectly, then he took off towards the Uchiha. Sasuke turned to him and discarded the kunai, beating Naruto's face with his foot. However, Naruto dispelled in a plume of smoke, electricity coursing through the Uchiha's body and shocking him. Though Naruto made sure to tone it down, he didn't want to accidentally kill his sensei's brother. Sasuke stumbled after the electric shock and collapsed to the ground. Naruto put a kunai to his neck. "Yield." Sasuke grudgingly acknowledged defeat, to which Naruto formed the seal of reconciliation with him and helped the Uchiha up. Then the blonde melted away, revealing the whole fight to actually be a genjutsu. Naruto loved messing with his opponents. "Sasuke, you're fast, but not strong enough. You should try working on your strength," Naruto commented. "Come here for a second." The Uchiha looked up. "Yes? I'm giving you training weights that you can deactivate at any time during battle with the phrase Kai, They should be useful to you, Naruto said as he pulled out his brush and a bottle of chakra ink. Drawing the seals on Sasuke, he activated them. Fuin Jutsu, sure Jin, arg. Sasuke cried as he dropped to his knees, the extra gravity getting to him. Sasuke-kun. What did you do to him, Naruto? Sakura asked. Don't worry, they'll help him in the long run. He will get used to it soon, Naruto assured. Now your turn, Sakura. Come at me. Sakura slipped into a basic academy taijutsu stance and ran towards him, throwing a punch. Naruto blocked it with a crossguard, however it surprisingly launched him back 10 meters. Shit, her blows are strong. Can't let her land too many blows, Naruto thought as he stepped to the back to avoid what would have been a vicious right hook. Luckily, due to the momentum caused by missing her strikes, she is slow, Naruto analyzed as he dodged yet another blow. Weaving under it, he then delivered an uppercut to her chin and sent her sprawling onto the floor. Sakura, you are very strong and possess natural strength. However, it seems you are too slow because when you miss, your momentum slows down your next strike and leaves you open, Naruto deduced. You need to change your stance to a more efficient one. Then he asked her to show her stance, after which he corrected several openings. After that he lectured her about feints, and not throwing everything in one shot. For the next 2 hours, Naruto drilled important survival lessons into both their heads, and trained them into the ground. Ma Dainanahan, Team 7, my first impression of you is impressed, came a voice from the trees. Kakashi-sensei, took you long enough, Naruto replied without even looking. Well, don't even bother. Just get to the point, Naruto stated. The other two genin turned to look at their sensei. Sakura was too tired to even yell, you're late, sensei. Sasuke just glared at his tardiness. Now let's all introduce ourselves. My name's Hatake Kakashi. I like some things, dislike other things. As for my hobbies, you are too young to know. My dreams are not important. Your turn, Naruto. Right. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. I like my precious people, ramen, training and my senseis. I dislike traitors, people who take things for granted and people who judge others who something they have no control over. My hobbies are training, learning jutsu and bonding with my precious people. My dream is to be acknowledged by everyone and become the Hokage. TSK, Uchiha Sasuke. I like nothing, dislike everything, especially my brother. My hobbies are training and taking walks. My dream is to kill my brother and restore the Uchiha clan, Sasuke said. Ano, I'm Harino Sakura. I like Sasuke-kun, dislike perverts, late people, insert pointed look at sensei, and my hobbies are playing trivia games and memorizing new material for my studies. My dream is to marry Sasuke and repopulate the Uchiha clan. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Okay, interesting bunch. Tomorrow, there'll be a test. It'll be so intensive that you'll puke, so don't eat breakfast. Meet here at 7 in the morning. You mean 10, Naruto deadpanned, before turning around to continue his kata. Right, Kakashi's sweat dropped again, dismissed. Guys, want to do more training? Naruto asked. Sasuke nodded, while Sakura followed her crush. Sakura, you should seriously cut your hair. It's too long, and enemies can make use of it to get to you, Naruto commented. The girl nodded solemnly. Using a kunai, she severed her hair, shocking the onlookers. Naruto grinned. It appeared his team wasn't that bad, after all. Later at 6 in the evening. Alright, that's enough training for you guys. I would suggest coming with me to restock your weapons, how's that? Naruto asked. He had just taught them the tree climbing and water walking, two very important chakra control exercises. Sasuke couldn't help but have a grudging respect for Naruto's tenacity. The trio left the training ground and got to the Hagakure tool shop. Hello, what do you need? A girl behind the counter asked. She had brown hair tied up in buns and was dressed in a Chinese-style blouse. Hey Tenten, these are my teammates. Sasuke here needs 40 kunais and 20 shurikens, while Sakura needs 30 kunais and 25 shurikens. I need 10 kunais, 3 shurikens, 5 senbons and 1 arrow, Naruto said. Okay, Tenten said while scribbling down the order. I'll be back soon. Then she went to the back of the store. By the way, please call your father. I need a special order, Naruto called after her. While waiting, his two teammates walked around the shop, amazed at the many swords and armor sets. She reappeared with several boxes, and sorting them out, gave them the respective weapons. Sasuke, that'll be 6,000 ryo. Sakura, that'll be 5,500 ryo. While Naruto-kun, yours costs 1,900 ryo, Tenten calculated. No worries, I'll pay for everything on Dainanahan's behalf, Naruto declared as he pulled a large wad of money from his wallet. Sasuke and Sakura gaped at him in disbelief. Take your sets, go home and have a good rest. Trust me, eat breakfast tomorrow and come at 10, Naruto said like a sensei, while his teammates stared at him dumbly. Then they snapped out of it and left the shop, both uttering an arigato. Now what's this special order? Tenten's father Tenchi asked as he emerged from the back. Aji-san, I want you to make me these kunais, Naruto said, taking a piece of paper from the counter and sketching on it with a pen. As a three-pronged kunai took shape, the man's eyes widened in recognition. He knew of Minato's son's identity, but this. I hope this can cover part of the cost, Naruto continued as he emptied his special kunais onto the table. There were at least 20 there. These are special kunais, they multiply when chakra is sent to the seals on the handles, Naruto started, then proceeded to explain the mechanics of the Gojo Kunai Rinnan. By the end of it, Tenchi was grinning. "Why are all Namikaze's geniuses?" he asked rhetorically, before cursing himself at letting it slip. "What?" Naruto asked, before dismissing it. "Never mind. I accept, you can get your custom order for free," the man spoke. The blonde grinned. "Pleasure doing business, Tenchi Ajisen," the blonde replied. "If you have anything else like this, you can show me and we can work out another deal," Tenchi said. Immediately, Naruto spun on his heel and grinned. "Let me introduce you to my Gojo Kibaka Fuda," Naruto said, pulling out a roll of explosive tags. When he exited the store 15 minutes later, he had gotten a free supply of 3-pronged kunais for the rest of his career. Training Ground 7. Time to test this Infuin. Kai. Ninpo Sozo Seze, Byakugo no Jutsu. Naruto shouted. A purple diamond appeared on his forehead, then black markings spread across his face. Channeling chakra to his fist, he rammed it into a tree. The entire tree was uprooted and thrown from one end of the training ground to the other, leaving behind a deep trench in its wake. Wo Fuin, seal. The markings receded to the diamond before it too disappeared. Hokage's office. Hiruzen sweated at the display of sheer power through his crystal ball. So Naruto had learnt that. Apartment. Tadaima. Naruto called as he entered the house. "How was your day, Naruto-kun? Who are your teammates?" Mikoto asked. "There's Sasuke and a fangirl named Sakura," Naruto stated. Mikoto face planted on the table, having forgotten to say touch wood that morning. "Luckily, they're not so bad. I made friends with them by sharing tips, sparring, training and paying for restocking their weapons. I taught them tree climbing, water walking and some survival lessons," Naruto continued. "My sensei was Kakashi-sensei, so I figured he'd be late and trained with my teammates first. Tomorrow we're taking a test to determine if we should be sent back to the academy." Oh, that Mikoto laughed, recalling her genin days. It's quite entertaining to watch the genins' faces fall when they realized they could get sent back. Kurama's sweat dropped in his cage. "What the hell, your mom's a sadist." "Hey! Don't insult my mom, furball," Naruto protested in his thoughts. "Yeah, whatever," the QB replied, cutting off the link. Naruto dug into his dinner and washed the dishes. Then he stripped down to take a shower. After washing away the dirt and grime of the day, he entered his study to continue decrypting the mystery of the Hiraishin. So, the Jutsushiki is the teleportation seal array with a chakra circuit activated by a hand seal, though with enough training no hand seals are required. By the looks of it, it is composed of 2 seals, linked by a conduit to form an array. The first, the transmitting seal, disintegrates the user, then tears open a rift in spacetime which the user enters. The second part, the receiving seal of another Jutsushiki that the user aimed to appear at, opens another rift, this time back to the real world. Then it reintegrates the user. The whole process occurs in less than 1/100th of a second. So in total the Jutsushiki is made up of 2 seals, with 4 functions: to first disintegrate the user, send him to a rift that it opens in spacetime, or open a rift to the real world and reintegrate him there, Naruto deduced. "Got it," the level 10 seal master muttered as he reconfigured the intricate network of the chakra circuit on paper. "I can reduce the Jutsushiki to just the receiving seal, then apply the transmitting seal on myself. This way it's easier to replicate the Jutsushiki on my kunais and that I don't have to be near a kunai to teleport. However, how do I link the transmitting seal to the receiving seal without a conduit?" Naruto pondered on that for a while, letting his pencil drop. "You could use a sensory seal, then use it to lock on any receiving seals," Kurama suggested, much to his surprise. The blonde gasped. He didn't know that the fox knew that much about Fuinjutsu. "Kid, I've been around for more than 1,000 years. Figures I have a lot of knowledge on the shinobi arts," Kurama deadpanned. Naruto facepalmed, then drafted a sensory seal onto his notebook. "Alright, so I'll build the chakra circuit starting with the sensory seal, then connect it to the transmitting seal with a conduit and 2 chakra ports." Naruto pulled a brush and chakra ink, then marked himself with the seal array. All that was left was to wait for the kunais to arrive and mark them with the transmitting seals. He smiled at the revelation. He had just uncovered the secrets of the Hiraishin, and only he would be able to use it, for he planned to mark them with blood seals. Naruto practiced some kata in his room, before sleeping at 9. The next day, the sunlight once again hit his face. He should seriously get blinds. The blonde yawned and sat up in bed. Today was the day of an important test, so he naturally required the best outfit he could put together. He opened his wardrobe and found a black Uzumaki jumpsuit. It consisted of a black shirt with red Uzumaki spiral designs on the shoulders and black pants. Next, he found a suit of light body armor, similar to a vest. It would provide protection against kunai and shuriken penetration from throwing, however stabbing was still a vulnerability. Then he put the leather straps for the sheath of the Hakochikura and his quiver of arrows in a cross. Later, he put on a utility belt with a large pouch at the back to store an assortment of weapons. Usually they would be for his special kunai, but he had exchanged them for the 3-pronged Hiraishin kunais that would come in later in the week. Above the pouch was a sheath for a dagger, just in case. Strapped to his right leg with medical tape was a kunai holster, while the left had a shuriken pouch. On his right arm he had his saban launcher, fully loaded. Underneath that was a pouch of saban. Besides that, There was a spring-loaded kunai under each sleeve. His bow was already in the left-hand storage seal, so that was fine as well. Lastly, Naruto put on his favorite pair of black fingerless gloves with chakra metal plating. He was more than ready for the test. Omake, Chapter 6 Deleted Scenes. So, the Jutsushiki is a teleportation seal array with a chakra circuit activated by a hand seal, though with enough training no hand seals are required. By the looks of it, it is composed of two seals, linked by a conduit to form an array. The first, the transmitting seal, disintegrates the user, then tears open a rift in spacetime which the user enters. The second part, the receiving seal of another Jutsushiki that the user aimed to appear at, opens another rift, this time back to the real world. Then it reintegrates the user. The whole process occurs in less than 1/100th of a second. So in total the Jutsushiki is made up of two seals, with 4 functions: to first disintegrate the user, send him to a rift that it opens in spacetime, or open a rift to the real world and reintegrate him there, Naruto deduced. I have no idea what the hell I just said. It was 8 already, but Naruto knew Kakashi well enough, so he took his time to prepare breakfast. First a baguette, then some hotcakes and scrambled eggs. Once he finished cooking and eating the meal, it was 9. He left for Training Ground 7 to get some warm-up. Training Ground 7. Sasuke was already there, practicing what Naruto recognized as the Uchiha clan's interceptor fist. Meanwhile Sakura was doing the tree-climbing exercise. Naruto smiled at them. "Ohio, Sasuke, Sakura," Naruto called as he walked onto the river cutting through the training ground. "Ohio, Naruto-kun," Sakura replied, while Sasuke did the same without the honorific. "No shit, that's creepy." The blonde sat down and began meditating. The water around him rippled as energy rolled off him in waves. He could feel the trees, the wind, the water, the very earth. Without warning, Kurama yelled, "Kid, stop that! You'll turn to stone." Naruto was snapped out of it. "Wait, what? You were unknowingly absorbing senjutsu, sage techniques, chakra, and because you didn't know how to control it, too much and it will turn you to stone," the Bijou explained. Sage chakra is composed of 3 energies: the body and spiritual energies for the usual chakra, and natural energy from the environment. If you learn how to match the natural energy with the other 2, you will be able to enter an empowered state called sage mode, and you will be called a sage. Usually sages are taught by summons, notably the toads and the snakes. Naruto nodded. "But won't I be able to match it with my Sharingan?" Kurama laughed. "That's a great idea, but now's not the time to try it. Go run through your kata or something." The blonde sat up and dashed towards the nearest target. Jumping and spinning at the same time, he delivered a tornado kick to the target's head, cleanly detaching it from the rest of the body. He backflipped while clutching his right hand with his left. An orb appeared followed by blades. Then it expanded, giving the appearance of a giant Fuma Shuriken. That's right, he had perfected the Futon Rasengan that he created 4 years ago. It was now the Futon Rasen Shuriken. Naruto shouted, gaining the full attention of his teammates. He hurled the giant mass of chakra at the target's body. Needless to say, the target and the part of the training ground in a 50-meter radius around it was obliterated by wind blades. The shockwave later hit all of Team 7's genins. Such a powerful technique, Sasuke thought, as did Sakura. Meanwhile Kakashi, who was in the trees, watched in alarm. He learned how to throw that? Naruto stood up, relatively unharmed compared to his surroundings. "Kakashi-sensei, can we begin the test?" The copy nin entered the clearing. "Okay then. This is called the bell test. You have 2 hours to get these 2 bells from me. If you don't have a bell, you will be disqualified and sent back to the academy. Additionally, he or she will be tied up to these posts and watch as the other 2 take their lunches. Any questions?" Kakashi explained as he pointed out the posts. "So that's why he didn't want us to take breakfast," Sasuke and Sakura thought. "Well, luckily I followed Naruto's advice and ate." The silver-haired nin took out 2 bells and hung them from the waistband of his pants. "If not, Hajime!" Kakashi yelled. The 3 scattered immediately into the forest. "Listen guys, the point of this test is teamwork. He wants to use the bells to split us up. So what we need is a plan that we all can work together on," Naruto whispered. The other 2 nodded. Naruto's advice hasn't failed them before. "I'll go out there as a distraction and fight him. I can roughly match his power, but I still need you 2 to set up a trap while he's busy fighting me. I'll lure him towards it, then we can nab the bells. Understood?" Sasuke and Sakura flashed an OK sign, before disappearing. The blonde jumped out into the open clearing where Kakashi was reading an orange book. The Jonin immediately kept his book upon seeing Naruto, fully aware that he could take him out in a fight. "Sate, sa Hajime," Kakashi called, pulling up his highlight. A fully matured Sharingan was revealed to the world, glowing a crimson red. Naruto smirked. "Pulling out your trump card at the beginning, Kakashi-sensei?" "I'm flattered." The blonde dashed forward, delivering a roundhouse kick. Kakashi dodged it narrowly, and wouldn't have if not for his Sharingan. Naruto blurred away, appearing 10 meters away. "Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," he called, throwing a shuriken from his pouch. It multiplied into 1,000, the entire volley taking off towards Kakashi. The copy nin responded with the same move, using his Sharingan to copy it. Each of Naruto's shuriken deflected off each of Kakashi's shuriken. "Copying it?" Let's see you copy this, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto yelled, weaving the hand seals rat, rabbit, and tiger. Water materialized from the air and gathered to form a water dragon. Suiton, Suryuden no Jutsu, water style, water dragon jutsu. Naruto shouted, the water rushing towards Kakashi. Sure Mata. The Jonin cursed, he couldn't copy that. The technique usually takes 44 hand seals for every user. Only those with exceptional mastery over the water element like the Naidame Hokage, Senju Tobirama, and Naruto could cut it down to 3 hand seals, or 1 in Tobirama's case. Kakashi didn't have that kind of mastery, for his affinity was lightning. That was a limitation of the Sharingan. You can't copy something you can't do. Doton, Doria Hiki. Kakashi called out the B-rank technique, creating an earth wall. Due to the elemental advantage earth had over water, it clashed with the A-rank Suiton jutsu and both cancelled each other out. However, Raiton, Jibashi, lightning style, electromagnetic murder. Naruto uttered, channeling Raiton chakra through the water towards Kakashi. The Jonin jumped up instinctively, however Sakura suddenly appeared with her fist, ramming it into Kakashi's face, and sent him flying to the ground. What? He cried as Sasuke punched him in the back, stopping his momentum. Doton, Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu, Earth Style, Headhunter Jutsu. Naruto added, pulling Kakashi into the ground with only his head on the surface. Suddenly Kakashi dispelled, revealing it to be a shadow clone. TSK, Naruto clicked his tongue in frustration. The blonde swerved around, just in time to witness Kakashi swinging down his kunai. A kunai shot out of Naruto's sleeve and blocked it, surprising Kakashi. Naruto took the chance and Mule kicked him up into the sky. Kaimon, gate of opening, Kai! Naruto yelled, making the Jonin's eyes widen. The first of the 8 gates opened, increasing his strength by 400%. Naruto jumped up and mirrored Kakashi's body position and posture while behind him. Kage-Bio! Naruto shouted, then wrapped his arms around Kakashi's waist, restraining him. Omote started Naruto. He grabbed tight and nosedived while spinning like a tornado upside down, bringing Kakashi with him. Wrench! Naruto yelled, detaching himself just as they reached the ground. Backflipping, he landed safely while Kakashi crashed into the ground. The weakened Jonin crawled out from the crater, to hear the jingling of 2 bells. Sasuke and Sakura were each holding a bell, while Naruto was recovering from usage of the first gate. I'll write you all pass. Kakashi panted out, giving a thumbs up. Then he dropped unconscious. Naruto picked up the body of his sensei. He should be fine by tomorrow, we'll start our missions then. See you guys at 7. Sasuke and Sakura nodded, then began sparring. Naruto looked down at the face of Kakashi. Sheesh, overuse of the Sharingan, talking about that I didn't even use mine and beat him, Naruto thought as he brought him to Kakashi's house. After depositing him in his bed, Naruto left the house for Anbu HQ. Now that he was officially a genin, he wanted to buy a bingo book to read, just in case he ran into one of them in his C-rank missions. Anbu HQ. Hello Naruto, how can I help you? Yuga asked. I would like to purchase a bingo book please, Naruto requested. The purple-haired Anbu turned to a shelf and picked up a brand new copy of the monthly bingo book. Here. Would you like to subscribe? That way every month we'll deliver it to your house and you can get a copy without coming here, Yuga suggested as she handed him the book. Naruto assented. Okay, how much is it? 1,000 ryo for the book, and 10,000 ryo for the subscription. Naruto pulled out the money and gave it to her. Arigato, Yugao-sensei, Naruto said to his Kenjutsu teacher before leaving. Hagakure tool shop. How are my kunais doing, Ajisen? Naruto asked. Tenchi smiled at him. I've already completed 20 of them. By the end of the week I should have all 100 ready. Can you give me the 21st? I want to go home and mark them, then test the you-know-what jutsu. Tenchi went to the back and took the 20. Here you go, Tenchi said. By the way, since yesterday the business has boomed. Everyone wants one of your special kunai and explosive tags. Good to know, Naruto smiled. Once again, pleasure doing business. Ja-eni, Ichiraku ramen. Konnichiwa, Tuchiajisen, Naruto greeted. And you too, I am Nichin. The usual? I am asked. Hi, replied Naruto, who heard the sound of noodles being cooked. Later, 10 bowls of miso ramen were set on the table. Itadakimasu, Naruto said, breaking his chopsticks. He began eating. When he did, that was only time his politeness and etiquette dropped. 3 minutes later, the empty bowls were returned to Tuchi. Ayam shook her head. I still don't understand how the hell you can stomach all of that. Naruto grinned. Neither do I. Apartment. After a customary tadaima, he entered his room and got to work marking the kunais. He channeled chakra to his seal array, and teleported to a kunai that he had chosen. It works! Naruto cried, giddy with excitement. Now he would test it out on the field. He went to a training ground and planted all his kunais in specific locations. Then he began teleporting around with his weights increased to the next level. 3 hours later, he had just teleported back and forth among the 20 kunai. Now he was feeling dizzy, nauseous, but most of all, tired. He sat down to have a rest. This reminds me, Kit. Didn't you say you wanted to match natural energy with your Sharingan? Kurama asked, then exclaimed, This is the perfect time. Feeling revitalized, Naruto began gathering Senjutsu chakra with his Sharingan activated. The surrounding chakra seeped into his body. He could see with his Sharingan a greenish substance similar to his blue chakra flowing into his chakra coils. It was equal. Naruto stood up and cut off the chakra flow. Red pigmentation spread around his eyes, then two thick lines branched out from the tear duct on each side of his nose. Lastly, on his forehead, a red dot appeared with a red circle around it. Sennin Modo, Sage Mode. You're a Sennin Sage, Naruto. Kurama congratulated. Naruto rushed forward to a training dummy. With a light punch, it splintered into pieces. I didn't even use much force, Naruto marveled. His face looked like that of a kid brought to a candy store. Kurama smirked. That's not all, Kit. By utilizing the surrounding natural energy, you can still hit something you miss with the energy. For example, go to another dummy. Purposely miss your punch, but the distance must still be near. Naruto did as told, missing his punch narrowly, but the target shattered anyway. Amazing. What else? You'll have increased speed, power, and reflexes. Also, you are more attuned to your environment such that you can sense things easily. Basically, it increases your already powerful sensory ability by tenfold, Kurama explained. After testing that out for about another 15 minutes, he ran out of Senjutsu chakra. This new milestone proves you are worthy of my contract, the Kyuubi declared. Contract? What contract? Asked the confused Naruto. The Kitsune Fox summoning contract. By drawing blood and performing the Kuchiyos no Jutsu, summoning jutsu, with the hand seals boar, dog, bird, monkey and ram, you'll be able to summon a variety of foxes based on the amount of chakra you input. The boss summon that requires the most chakra to summon is of course me, Kurama boasted. Then Naruto was pulled to the mindscape. The Kyuubi dropped an open scroll to the cave floor. With your blood, sign your name and put the fingerprints for every finger in a slot, Kurama ordered. Naruto did as commanded. Now go back and perform the Kuchiyos no Jutsu, the Kyuubi said. Remember, you must first draw blood before doing it. Real world. Naruto brought his right thumb up to his incisor and bit down hard, causing blood to flow out of the wound, though it already began healing. Ainu Tori Saro, Hetsuji Kuchiyos no Jutsu. Naruto called, slamming his palm onto the floor. A black summoning circle spread out from the point of contact. Before smoke filled the area, a red fox appeared on the scene. She had wind-blue eyes and a long snout. So you're the new summoner then? I am your personal summon Akane. Hello Akane, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, the blonde greeted. I am capable of many things, like collaboration ninjutsu. My element is fire and lightning. I can also transport you and any friends to anywhere by increasing my size, Naruto-san, Akane introduced. My Oturo Masaru is a spy fox. He has a keen nose and sharp eyes, and he can turn invisible via a kitsune ninjutsu. He can also serve as messenger. Good to know. See you next time, Akane-chan, Naruto said before she dispelled, returning to the summoning realm. Apartment. Today I learned the Hiraishin, became a sage and a fox summoner as well, Naruto recalled, before hitting the sack. The next morning. Dainanahan, are you ready for your first mission? Kakashi asked. There was a hi, a nod and a HN. They entered the mission room. Team 7, your first E-rank, eh? Well, the mission is to capture Tora, a Chunin said. Cool, we get to capture a tiger? Sakura asked. Tora, the cat of the fire daimyo's wife, he elaborated, causing facepalms from the whole of Team 7. Kakashi sighed. Welcome to the wonderful world of D-ranks. Make extras. Naruto brought his right thumb up to his incisor and bit down hard, causing the one whole phalanx of it to be severed. It dropped to the floor, a pool of blood. Where his right thumb was supposed to be was a bloody stump. Oops, forgot that Kurama increased my teeth's sharpness, Naruto said sheepishly as the thumb began regenerating slowly. I asked you to create a small wound, not bite off your thumb, baka. Kurama roared. He was pretty sure that was enough blood for the summoning. After a week of those dreadful D-ranks, Naruto had acquired all 100 of his Hiraishin kunais and replaced all of his standard ones with them. Also, he held the record for the fastest time to catch Tora. Flashback. Naruto held the cat in his hands. It was snarling at him, until Naruto put him to sleep with the Genjutsu. He marked Tora discreetly with the Hiraishin Jutsushiki on his hand. Oh yes, he had applied the receiving seal to his hands so he could mark the enemy without kunais. On the next day, he had escaped again. Naruto was in the mission's office and planted a receiving seal. Within a second, he disappeared and reappeared in the office, a look of shock evident in Kakashi's and the Chunin's eyes, who recognized the jutsu due to the blinding yellow flash. I believe I broke the record, Naruto smiled pleasantly. Present. Team 7 reporting for another mission, Kakashi said. The Chunin looked up into Naruto's eyes, the one who broke the record. However, instead of the usual cerulean blue, it was crimson red with 3 spinning black tomo. He suddenly felt compelled to give this team a C-rank mission. In a daze, he went to the C-rank shelf and pulled out a scroll. Here you go. Protect Tazuna, the bridge builder of Nami no Kuni, land of waves, till he completes the bridge. An old man wearing a straw hat strolled in. I asked for top-notch protection, not a bunch of brats, Tazuna complained, taking a swig from his sake bottle. For a couple of bandits, you won't need top-notch protection. Besides, I think 2 A-rank shinobi on the team should be more than enough for a genin squad, Kakashi stated. Tazuna's eyes widened. Fine then. I'll see you guys at the East Gate in an hour. Then he walked off. 2 A-ranks? Who, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked. Naruto and I, Kakashi answered, before body flickering away. Naruto disappeared in a yellow flash to avoid the argument that would surely come. Damn it, and he was befriending his 2 teammates. East Gate. Naruto appeared, sitting below a tree and meditating. Naruto, we're getting ready to leave, Kakashi said to his student. The blonde, who was gathering natural energy, stood up. Ikkuz. An hour down the road, Naruto detected 2 extra chakra signatures in a puddle on the floor. He smirked. It hasn't been raining for weeks. If they're trying to hide, at least act like it, Naruto thought, sensing 2 mid-Chunin level chakra sources. Just as they crossed it, Naruto yelled scatter. At the same time, 2 shinobi jumped out from the puddle and wrapped a shuriken chain around Kakashi. They pulled hard, reducing their sensei to sliced flesh. Meanwhile, Sakura was in front of Tazuna in a protective stance. Sasuke had jumped off to the opposite side of the road. Naruto was in the middle, analyzing the enemy. The Oni Kyodai, Demon Brothers, Gozu and Meizu. 2 Chunin nuke nin missing nin, from Kirigakure. Naruto said aloud, the article that he had memorized from his bingo book. You seem to know us very well, Genin. Now step aside. Hand over the old man and we won't hurt you, Gozu said menacingly, unleashing his killing intent upon the 4. Naruto burst out laughing. His ki had nothing on Kurama's or his. What's so funny? Meizu asked, annoyed. The blonde pulled out a 3-pronged kunai. You just picked the wrong squad to mess with, Naruto replied, twirling the kunai. The 2 Chunin paled, recognizing the look. Blonde hair, blue eyes, it's the Kiroi Senko yellow flash. Gozu cried. Naruto shrugged, getting into a stance. I'll end this quick, the blonde said, unknowingly uttering his father's most favorite phrase before ending the enemy. The 2 froze up, letting Naruto throw the kunai onto the floor. In a flash of yellow, he teleported while unsheathing the Hako Chikura-2. A blur of white moved across Gozu's neck. When it faded away, he already had his head rolling across the floor. Naruto then moved on to Meizu, kicking him in the testicles. Then he glared into his eyes, Sharingan spinning. Megan, Siren no Naraku, demonic illusion, Blue Lotus Hell, Naruto whispered. This was, in Naruto's opinion, the best tool for torture and interrogation. Under this genjutsu's effect, any pain, no matter how small, could be magnified or relocated to another part of the target's body. Meizu crumpled to the floor, holding his manhood in extreme pain. Now you're going to answer my question, Naruto said, Sharingan glowing. Who do you work for? Gato, the shipping magnate. Is there anyone else waiting for us? Momochi Zabuza and his apprentice. Naruto looked him in the eye one last time. Megan, Kasegui no Jutsu, demonic illusion, shackling stakes jutsu. Meizu involuntarily screamed as he fell to the floor, immobilized. He had the sensation of 1,000 spikes being driven into his body. He stopped when his head left his body. Naruto picked up the kunai and sealed away both heads, intent on cashing in the bounty. His teammates and Tazuna watched the whole process in shock at how easily the genin had defeated both Chunin. So this must be the other A-rank within the team, Tazuna thought. Kakashi-sensei, you can come out now, Naruto said as the silver-haired nin jumped from the nearby trees. But I thought you died, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura cried. TSK. Kawarimi no Jutsu, Sakura, Sasuke said, pointing to the sliced logs lying on the floor where Kakashi's corpse was supposed to be. Kakashi-sensei, Meizu said that Zabuza would be waiting for us, Naruto reported. Kakashi stared at the client. Now it made sense why he wanted top-notch protection. This mission has turned from C rank to A rank. Tazuna, why are shinobi after you? The old man sighed and explained. Our country is currently broke because Gato the tyrant is controlling our country with his thugs. If we complete the bridge linking Nami no Kuni to Hai no Kuni, Land of Fire, we will prosper. Gato doesn't want that and sent shinobi after me. However, I can't afford anything higher than a C rank, so I lied about the mission parameters. Kakashi asked Team 7, do you want to continue this mission? Naruto nodded, while Sasuke agreed as well not to get outdone. Sakura, as usual, agreed with her crush. We have reached a consensus. We will continue the mission, however we expect full payment when your country is wealthy again, Tazuna-san, Kakashi announced. The client thanked them profusely as they continued on their journey. Border of Hai no Kuni. Naruto heard the sound of rustling behind a bush and launched a kunai at it. What fell dead was a white rabbit. White? How can it have a white coat in summer? Something is wrong, Naruto analyzed, before he detected a chakra signature closing in on them. Get down! Kakashi yelled just as someone else shouted, Hisenken, flying revolving sword. A massive broadsword shaped like a butcher's knife flew at head level, spinning like a boomerang before it impaled itself on a tree close to the shore of the lake marking the border. The Kubikuri Bocho, decapitating carving knife, so this must be Zabuza. Naruto thought. Kirigakure no Kijin, demon of the hidden mist, Momochi Zabuza. A-rank Anbu nuke nin from Kirigakure, Naruto read off his mind. Sharingan no Kakashi, now I see why the demon brothers failed. And who are you, smartass? Zabuza said snarkily as he appeared standing on his sword. The blonde looked up while drawing his Hiraishin kunai. It's a pleasure to meet a fellow A-rank, Naruto answered. The demon of the hidden mist paled visibly. The Kiroi Senko? I don't understand why I am always mistaken for the Yondaime Hokage, but it's fine, I intend on surpassing him, Naruto shouted before he charged. With that, Zabuza came to a conclusion. This kid must have been the Yondaime's son, though it looked like he didn't know. Zabuza jumped off his sword while catching the handle, bringing it down with him. Then he did a vertical swing. Naruto blocked it by catching the edge of the blade between two prongs of his kunai. Then with his strength, he swiped the blade away to the left. Zabuza spun with his blade and delivered a kick to Naruto's stomach. The speedy blonde twisted his torso so that he just missed. Then he backed away. So this is the legacy of the Kiroi Senko? You're fast, but not fast enough, Zabuza commented. TSK, I haven't even started yet, Naruto stated, pulling out his Hiraishin kunais. After that, he scattered them across the field. If this kid knows that, I'm screwed, Zabuza thought before raising his left hand and forming the seal of confrontation with his right. Kirigakyu no Jutsu, Hidden Mist Jutsu, Zabuza called, mist lifting up from the nearby lake and clouding the area. Kakashi already had his hideout pulled up, Sharingan activated. Meanwhile, Naruto was using his sensory abilities. For some reason, there was another chakra signature in the woods nearby. He would deal with that later. For now, he needed to fight Zabuza. A rush of air was felt behind him. Naruto immediately teleported away to another kunai and watched as the Kubikuribocho was implanted where he was just now. Not sloppy at all, Gaki. That's what I'm talking about, Zabuza said. Then he sensed Kakashi sneaking up behind him with a kunai and bisecting him. However, Zabuza burst into water. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, water clone jutsu? Naruto thought. The real Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi and bisected him with the Kubikuribocho, but the silver-haired Nin burst into water as well, so Kakashi used the Sharingan to copy the jutsu. Naruto teleported towards Zabuza and kicked him in the face, however the nuke Nin avoided it narrowly. Then using the sword, he impaled Naruto. Only for Naruto to dispel into a surge of lightning which conducted through the sword and electrocuted him. Raitun Kage Bunshin? Nice job, Naruto, Kakashi thought as he appeared behind Zabuza and kicked him into the lake. Kakashi ran onto the surface of the lake, only to feel a rush of water around him. Kyuso! Kakashi cursed as the water wrapped around him in a bubble-like prison. Zabuza surfaced, shouting, Suetun, Suiro no Jutsu. He held a hand onto the bubble to maintain it. Naruto analyzed the situation. The fog was already clearing. Sakura, stay with Tazuna. Sasuke, you're with me, Naruto ordered, taking charge. The raven walked up to Naruto and examined the environment as well. Suddenly 2 water clones charged at them, cutting short their analysis. Naruto noted the clearing fog. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu, he shouted after 3 hand seals. The surrounding air became colder, condensing the mist into water. It converged into a giant dragon which shot towards one of the clones, taking it out. Then he looked to his right. Zabuza's Kubikuribocho was swinging down towards a defenseless Sasuke. No, he wouldn't let his sensei's brother die. He dashed at top speed, pushing Sasuke away as the blade came down. The raven looked on in shock as Naruto was about to be cleaved in half. Then suddenly, he felt a surge of chakra reach his eyes. To the clone, he looked on in shock as Naruto's eyes bled red, followed by 3 tomo. Then the 3 tomos spun rapidly, warping into a new pattern. It consisted of a small black 6-pointed star in the middle with a red circle in it. Surrounding it were what appeared to be flower petals in a stylized design. The blade seemed to phase through him completely, landing on the floor. This happened to the surprise of everyone present, including Naruto himself. Kurama thought, the Mangekyo Sharingan? Then Naruto ducked to the side and disappeared, blending in with the surroundings. The invisible Naruto, who had used the Maisegekyo no Jutsu, ran up to Zabuza's clone and sliced him with a kunai. The blonde reappeared, eyes normal again. What did you do, Gaki? Zabuza asked, unaware of the Sharingan because a Mizu Bunshin didn't have the memory ability like a Kage Bunshin. That's for me to know and for you to find out, Naruto said, and added in his thoughts, though frankly I don't know what the hell happened either. He ran towards Zabuza, shouting, Tajua Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 1,000 clones burst into existence and charged at Zabuza. Hi Senkin! Zabuza shouted, throwing his sword at the crowd and dispelling many of them. The real Naruto had a Hiraishin kunai in hand, and threw it at the chakra signature in the trees that he had detected earlier. The person's eyes widened in surprise as it planted itself into her shoulder. Though not deep, she might have difficulties using her right arm for a while. She started nursing it. A clone had snuck up behind Zabuza and kicked his hand away, destroying the water prison. Kyuso, Zabuza swore, he stood no chance now that Kakashi was free. The silver-haired Nin mule kicked him forward towards Naruto. The blonde drew his tanto and engaged Zabuza in kenjutsu. Not bad. Your kenjutsu is close to the level of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, the nuke Nin complimented. So I've been told by my sensei, Naruto replied, slashing the Hako Chikura to down. It was met by the Kubikuribocho with a horizontal block. Naruto backflipped as 2 shadow clones burst into existence. One closed in on Zabuza from the left, the other from the right, while the original jumped in from above. All three had their swords ready to cut Zabuza. Mikazuki no Mai, Dance of the Crescent Moon! All three yelled, slashing Zabuza with their tantos. Luckily for the Nukenin, he had took a step back so the blades missed any vital spots. However, the wounds were still deep and painful. With a signal, the figure from the woods appeared, a kunoichi dressed in the standard Kirigakure pinstriped outfit. Over that she wore a green haori with white trimmings and a brown sash with a fringed trail around her waist. Her fingernails and toenails were painted turquoise, and she had a Kirigakure Anbu mask over her face. Oh, that, and her right shoulder was wounded. What's your name, Gaki? Zabuza asked a final question. Uzumaki Naruto, the blonde answered. The kunoichi grabbed Zabuza and disappeared with a shunshin, making a getaway. Naruto sighed, and teleported to all the kunai, retrieving them. Kakashi had collapsed once again, overuse of the Sharingan. He hoisted his sensei up in a fireman's carry, then turned towards Tazuna. Let's go to your house. We should be safe for now, Naruto said. The old man nodded, and walked forward with the rest of Team 7. They would rest for now, but no doubt there would be another confrontation. Make deleted scenes. But I thought you died, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura cried. I smiled. I did, you're just hallucinating. Soon, Naruto and Sasuke will have to send you back for a mental examination. But, stop talking to yourself, scolded Kakashi's ghost harshly. I am not talking to myself, she screeched, gaining the attention of both her teammates. Naruto whispered, she must be mentally scarred after Kakashi-sensei's death. After this we'll bring her back to the asylum. The Uchiha nodded in agreement as Sakura continued yelling to herself. The five arrived at Tazuna's house. Knocking on the door, a young lady dressed in a short-sleeved pink shirt with long, dark blue hair opened it. Konnichiwa, we're Tazuna-san's security detail, Konoha no Dainanahan, Naruto introduced. This is Uchiha Sasuke, and this is Harino Sakura. The person who I'm carrying is my sensei, Hatake Kakashi. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Konnichiwa. I'm Tsunami, the daughter of your client, she greeted. Tazuna commented, I wouldn't have made it without them. We were ambushed by 3 ninja. Thank you, please make yourself at home, Tsunami said as she ushered the team into the house. There was a kid wearing a yellow shirt, green overalls and a white hat with blue stripes in the house. That is Inari, my son, Tsunami introduced. Then she led the team to 2 bedrooms. These are the guest rooms, 2 people per room. Sasuke, are you okay sharing a room with Sakura? I need to take care of Kakashi-sensei, Naruto asked. Internally, Sakura was cheering. Sasuke replied with a sigh. Fine. If he's gonna be any use to us, you might as well take care of him. Naruto nodded and set Kakashi on the futon. He covered him with the blanket before leaving the room. Tsunami brought the genins of Team 7 on a tour of the rest of the house. If you need anything, feel free to ask me, Tsunami finished. Thank you for the hospitality, Tsunami-san, said Naruto politely. He turned to address the rest of his team. We need to train before the next confrontation. We've got 2 weak tops, 1 at least. The other 2 responded with hi, then left for their training. Naruto got up the stairs and went to Kakashi's and his room. Kurama, do you know what happened just now? When the blade phased through me? Kurama answered, yes. It appears you have awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, the next stage after the 3 Tomo's Sharingan. It is rare to awaken this power. I only know 7 people who did so: Otsutsuki Indra, Uchiha Madara, insert snarl, Uchiha Izuna, Uchiha Baru, Uchiha Naka, Uchiha Naori and Uchiha Rai. And now you, the 8th. Kurama doesn't know about Shursui, Itachi and Narumi because he was sealed inside Naruto when they did. So what powers does it grant me? Naruto asked. I know 6 they're called Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, Susanoo, Kamui, Koto Amatsukami and Kagutsuchi. Usually one only unlocks a single power with 1 eye, while the 3rd is Susanoo, granted by both eyes after the other 2 are unlocked. Amaterasu is a ninjutsu that is considered the highest level of fire style. Use of the technique puts a great deal of strain on the user, usually causing their eyes to bleed. The jet-black flames of the Amaterasu, said to be the fires from hell and as hot as the sun itself. By focusing their vision upon an object, the user is able to ignite the flames, ignite at the focus of the user's vision. The black flames of Amaterasu are stated to burn through mostly anything in their path, even smothering regular fire techniques with ease. Amaterasu is said to never stop burning. Even when whatever is caught by Amaterasu is completely reduced to ash or destroyed, it can still continue burning for 7 days and 7 nights. It cannot be extinguished with water or any other normal methods. However, the flames cannot burn through chakra. Also, the flames burn fairly slowly compared to ordinary flames. This allows anyone struck by Amaterasu an opportunity to remove whatever clothing or body parts have been caught ablaze before the flames spread further. The flames can also be extinguished by the user that summoned them, albeit it puts great strain on their eyes, Kurama explained. Next, Tsukuyomi is noted to be one of the most powerful genjutsu in existence. Tsukuyomi requires eye contact to be performed, trapping the target within an illusion completely under the user's control. It allows you to alter the perception of time with ease within the genjutsu to make a few seconds seem like many days as a means to torture the target. This results in the victim suffering psychological trauma that incapacitates them for a considerable period of time. Such a powerful technique is not without its disadvantages, however. Due to the complexity of the illusion and the quickness with which it is executed, an enormous amount of chakra is necessary and an added amount of stress is placed on the left eye. The ultimate defense, Susanoo, is an ability granted to those who awaken the powers of both their Mangekyo Sharingan. It creates a gigantic, humanoid being that surrounds the user and fights on their behalf. As one of the strongest techniques granted to those that have acquired the Mangekyo Sharingan, it is the user's guardian deity, but at the same time, it consumes the user's life force and damages their body over time. With continued mastery of Susanoo, the user can bypass this weakness and can continue to sustain Susanoo, with the only concern being their chakra reservoir. Since it is formed through the materialization of the user's chakra, its abilities, appearance, and color vary among individuals. The user is able to freely move around within Susanoo's body as well as levitate inside of it, and can also leave its body entirely while maintaining it. It is also possible for others to enter Susanoo when allowed by the user. While Susanoo acts as a defense against external attacks, anything coming out of its body will simply phase through it. Susanoo can also be easily reformed in the event it is obliterated by a powerful attack, provided it protected the user from being massively injured and they're still physically capable of reforming it. Several users of this technique have demonstrated the ability to activate and maintain Susanoo without having their Mangekyo Sharingan active, or even their regular Sharingan. As with other techniques granted by the Mangekyo Sharingan, the user's eyes and body are strained while using Susanoo and a large amount of their chakra is consumed. Because the user is able to freely pass through Susanoo, it is possible for an opponent to forcibly remove them from it. A sufficiently powerful attack can result in damage being done to Susanoo, especially during the technique's developmental stages, after which the user is left open to attack. Susanoo cannot defend against attacks which do not actually deal physical damage to it, such as strong lights and sound-based genjutsu, all of which can impair the user's ability to sustain Susanoo. As it develops, Susanoo goes through several different forms, usually gaining additional weaponry in the process. The user can switch between these forms at will, or, in the case of the first two stages, leave it in a state between forms. When first activating the technique, the user can only manifest a portion of Susanoo's skeleton, such as a smaller version of its ribcage which, while providing a good defense, can still be fractured, as well as melted. The user can form other parts of the skeletal structure, such as an arm, to interact with their surroundings, or to wield one of Susanoo's weapons. When first forming, Susanoo manifests around the user as an aura. Eventually, the user is able to form the entirety of Susanoo's skeletal structure. Additional musculature and skin can then form atop Susanoo's bones, progressively completing it until it develops into a fully manifested form in which the vulnerabilities of the skeletal form are largely eliminated. In its next form, this fully humanoid shape is further surrounded by a layer of armor that causes it to resemble a Yamabushi. At this stage, it can prevent enemies from reaching the user unless they can get through Susanoo's various layers. Though users of this technique often only form Susanoo's upper half, legs can be manifested to give it a full body, granting it increased mobility. Some users, who have attained perfect mastery over this technique, are capable of stabilizing Susanoo's chakra, causing it enter a colossal form known as the Kansetai Susanoo, perfect Susanoo. Through the use of Susanoo, the user is able to create the Yasaka no Magatama, Yasaka beads, from any of its hands, which can comprise of a single Magatama to several bound together through their respective centers by a thread of chakra. Due to this structure, the tools act in a similar manner to that of a shuriken when thrown by Susanoo, rapidly spinning towards the intended target, and result in a powerful collision upon impact. The size of the created projectiles are dependent upon the user's intent and situation, with smaller variations often used when fighting in close quarters or confined spaces. While all operating in a somewhat similar manner, the technique can assume multiple forms that differ slightly both in appearance and use. These range from 3 Magatama bound together by a single, circular thread that are created either between two of Susanoo's hands or from just one, which are then propelled towards the target as a single combined projectile. Or, a considerable number of Magatama strung out between two of Susanoo's hands, using an interconnecting thread. These then detach themselves from one another once propelled towards the target, so that each Magatama becomes a separate projectile. The power when the Magatama are separated is comparable to explosive tags. There is also another weapon similar to the Yasaka no Magatama, it's called the Tsukumo. After manifesting the Susanoo's upper body, it opens its ribcage to expose its chest before launching a barrage of large green-colored chakra needles. Kurama explained, marveling Naruto with his knowledge of the Susanoo. Kamui is a powerful Mangekyo Sharingan dojutsu, visual technique, that creates a unique and specialized form of space-time ninjutsu. It allows the user to achieve two very distinct, yet closely associated feats: teleportation and intangibility. Kamui allows the user to transfer anything to another dimension. Once a target is sent to this dimension, it is unable to escape. This technique, when used through the right eye, is also able to make the user intangible by transporting portions of their body to the same pocket dimension. Each eye is able to transport targets by creating a swirling distortion that opens a void into another dimension. This technique's effect acts as an attractive force, both visibly drawing the target inwards and distorting their form until they disappear. A user of the right eye requires physical contact to absorb a target, while a user of the left can do so from a distance. Kamui also allows the user to teleport to virtually any location they desire by absorbing their own body into the swirling distortion. When using Kamui to teleport, whatever the user is touching will be warped along with them, and their chakra becomes untraceable. After storing a target within Kamui's dimension, the user can then eject it from their eye at any time. This can be done with varying degrees of force. While in Kamui's dimension, the user can transport targets out of said dimension at any time, even without establishing physical contact. Despite not always being present, you could keep targets under genjutsu while they were confined inside this technique's pocket dimension, thus keeping them incapacitated for extended durations. A user of Kamui can synchronize with other space-time techniques, allowing them access to other dimensions. After entering a new dimension through this method, the user is able to travel to and from said dimension, as well as any other connected dimensions, at will. The long-range version of Kamui, an ability belonging to the left eye, is primarily based on line of sight and, as such, does not require physical contact to warp a target into the other dimension. By focusing to create a barrier space and concentrating on the target within, Kamui will distort space and the target will be drawn into the other dimension. The barrier can be expanded and its speed is on par with Amaterasu, Kurama continued about the left eye. The short-range version of Kamui, belonging to the right eye, requires physical contact to warp a target. However, this eye has a unique variation of teleportation akin to intangibility. When activated, any part of the user's body that overlaps with a solid object is seamlessly warped to the other dimension, making it appear as though the user is phasing through them. This ability can dodge most attacks, and by overlapping their entire body into large objects, the user can completely conceal their presence while temporarily erasing all traces of their chakra. This ability can also be used to travel through the ground, a characteristic that you can exploit to ambush your opponents from below. The user also seemingly possesses the capability to extend this intangibility to whatever they are touching at the moment of activation, as long as they are able to maintain some form of contact with at least a part of the desired item or person. It also allows the user to bypass even the strongest Kekai ninjutsu, barrier ninjutsu, Kurama said about the right. When both eyes are used together on the same target, the teleportation process works twice as fast. Through both eyes, the user can create two distortions at the same time and connect them. The user can not only create two distortions, but also create a portal in their line of sight that can connect two dimensions. Doing this, however, requires a tremendous amount of chakra and places significant strain on the user's eyes, causing both to bleed. Using both eyes on oneself allows the user to augment their other techniques, such as aiding in the usage of attacks through intangibility, or expanding the range and number of targets to teleport through projectiles. However, the Mangekyo Sharingan is a dojutsu that, with continuous usage, burdens the user with the loss of their eyesight. Since this is the source of Kamui, using it in rapid succession put Kakashi's body at risk as well. Similar to Amaterasu, repeated use of the technique puts a great deal of strain on the user, which can cause the eye to bleed when overused, Kurama said, explaining the drawbacks of Kamui. Next, Kodo Amatsukami is a dojutsu that casts a powerful yet subtle mind-controlling genjutsu on the target. The technique allows the user to enter the mind of any individual within their field of view, and manipulate them by giving them false experiences, making it seem as if they were doing things of their own free will. It is regarded as a genjutsu of the highest caliber, due to the victim being entirely unaware that they are being manipulated. After it has been used, this dojutsu requires a decade before it can be used again. However, this period can be drastically reduced through the possession of Senju Hashirama's cells, Kurama said. Lastly, Kagetsuchi is a technique which applies shape transformation to any technique you use. This is especially useful for creating jutsus. You may think that this is useless, however look where the Raisin Shuriken has got you, the pinnacle of shape transformation. This is a left eye technique, so it is perfect if you combine this with Amaterasu if you have both techniques, Kurama explained. Then he said, I need water, I've been talking for the past 30 minutes. Naruto thought up of a pool of water which Kurama drank from. So I have Kamui, then, based on the intangibility that occurred in the fight, Naruto deduced, cool. That means I can use Susanoo because Kamui is a technique that is both a left and right eye technique. That's right. But I think with extensive training, you can unlock even more abilities, Kurama said. Now go for your training? Yes, sir. Naruto replied, saluting. Then he exited the mindscape. When he looked at the clock, less than a second had passed. 1 hour in the mindscape is but a second in the real world, Kurama said through the mental link. Naruto went downstairs, to hear with his enhanced hearing that Tsunami muttered under her breath, shit. I forgot to buy the carrots. Tsunami-san, I could go out to town and buy it for you, he offered. The woman gave him a grateful look before turning back to the kitchen. Town. The place looked very dreary and miserable. There were many beggars and orphans along the road, to which Naruto gave them money. The shops were all lacking in what they could sell, most were bare and the food was scarce. When the blonde entered a vegetable stall, he saw someone else just walk in and steal a corn maze. Like seriously, he didn't even bother to be discreet. The blonde shook his head and picked up 3 carrots. He paid for them and left. Sealing the carrots into his storage seal, he spotted 3 men surrounding a pregnant lady. Pay up. Gato-sama demands that you pay tax, or else we'll kill you and your baby. The tallest man said. Please, no. I need the money for my baby. The woman cried, begging for mercy. Naruto's eyes narrowed as he unsealed his bow and drew 2 arrows from his quiver. Within 2 seconds, the 2 lackeys dropped dead, much to the leader's surprise. He turned to Naruto. How dare you? Gato-sama will have your head. The blonde grabbed him by the throat, lifting him up. And I'll have yours, if you don't answer my question. His eyes bled red and warped into a Sharingan. Glaring into his eyes, he said, Now, listen up. I want you to go back to Gato's residence and after that, kill yourself. Understood? The man's eyes glazed over. Hi, master. Naruto bit his thumb and summoned Masaru. Masaru, please tail that man back to the enemy's hideout. When he kills himself, can you scout out the area and find out how many sentries there are? Also, please inform me where Gato is when you find him. When you're done, go to a safe place nearby and use the Gyakukuchios no Jutsu, reverse summoning jutsu. Thanks, the fox nodded as he processed the information. Roger that, Naruto-san. Then he turned to the pregnant woman who was still on the floor. Please don't hurt me, he sighed. Don't worry, I'm here to help. I'm part of the ninja squad assembled to protect Tazuna-san. Her eyes widened in recognition. Naruto stuck out his hand and helped her up. Then he took out 100 ryo. Use this to support you and your baby, Naruto said, then he disappeared with the wind. The woman whispered a thank you. Naruto returned to the house and practiced his Kamui and Susanoo. A black aura surrounded him, his chakra manifesting into a gray ribcage. Then skeletal arms appeared, followed by a skull with bright yellow eyes. Musculature and skin started forming over the skull, arms and ribcage, giving them solid shape. Level 2? Not bad, Kit. Kurama complimented. Naruto shook his head. Level 3, then I'll stop. He pushed all his chakra into the avatar, causing gray armor to sprout out and encase the humanoid. A head-like helmet went over the humanoid's head, giving it false eyes and a long, tengu nose. Above the eyes was a yellow gem. Where the mouth of the helmet was supposed to be, was a black void with 2 yellow orbs, the real eyes of the Susanoo. Kurama laughed. His host was actually not bad as a shinobi. Naruto released the jutsu, and the transformation process went in reverse until the black aura disappeared. Suddenly in a poof of smoke he reappeared in front of a strange building. Masaru retreated from a disappearing summoning circle. Next to him was the corpse of the man that Naruto had hypnotized earlier. Naruto-san, there are 60 mercenaries on sentry on the first floor, and 30 on the second. On the third where his office is, there are 15 samurais. He's currently in the office speaking about not paying the 2 shinobi that he hired, Zabuza and that Kunoichi. Interesting, thanks, Masaru. Tell Akane-chan I said hi, Naruto said. The fox nodded, then dispelled. It's time to have some fun. Oh, make deleted scenes. The blonde grabbed him by the throat, lifting him up. And I'll have yours, if you don't answer my question. His eyes bled red and warped into a Sharingan. Glaring into his eyes, he said, Now, listen up. I want you to go back to Gato's residence and after that, strip yourself naked in front of Gato and scar his mind forever. Understood? The man's eyes glazed over. Hi, master, Naruto chuckled evilly. If it didn't work, Gato was gay. If it did work, it would make his objective much easier. Naruto walked out of the area and into the front gate. The guards immediately noticed him, and were about to charge at him when his eyes bled red. 3 spinning tomos converged into the center of his iris and morphed into a black 6-pointed star with a red circle in the center. Out of this points, black flower petals shot out. All 105 sentries in the building dropped to the floor, unconscious. Naruto thought as he walked into the building, interrupted by any annoying guards. When he entered Gato's office, the man was already shaking in fear. What do you want? He cried. Nothing much. Except you will sign your whole company over to me, Naruto said nonchalantly. Gato looked at him like he had grown a second head. This kid wanted him to sign the multi-trillion Rio Gato shipping company over to him. Are you crazy? Gato asked, forgetting what the kid just did to all his guards. I didn't say you must, I said you will. Now do it, before I kill you, Naruto threatened, his killing intent flooding the room. The man was shaking very hard as he took out papers and signed his resignation papers, stating Naruto as the new CEO. Naruto signed it and kept a copy. See, that wasn't so hard, right? He said cheerfully as he walked out of the room and left the man inside chiding himself. He teleported back to Tazuna's house. After sealing the papers into a scroll and giving the carrots to Tsunami, he set out to continue his Kamui training. Then he switched to ninjutsu and taijutsu, destroying many trees in the forest. After his intensive training, he collapsed from exhaustion. The next morning, a young girl dressed in a pink kimono walked into a clearing, humming a soft tune as she plucked herbs and placed them into her basket. Then she noticed a blonde boy lying on the floor, seemingly asleep. This was one of the shinobi that day, the one that hit me with his kunai. Should I know? Never mind, the girl thought, her hand poised over his neck. Her hand then traveled to his collar, planning to shake him awake. Just before that happened, though, the boy's eyes opened, revealing cerulean blue irises. She blushed and released her grip on his collar. "Oh hail, what are you doing so early out in the forest?" Taking in the girl's image, Naruto replied, "I could say the same." "Haku," the girl supplied, before saying, "I am picking herbs to heal someone. I'm Uzumaki Naruto." "I was training. I'm a shinobi, you see," the blonde said. "Why do you train?" she asked, cocking her head. "I train to get stronger, so that I won't lose those precious to me," Naruto replied. "I see, so you have people precious to you then. You will grow strong." "Very strong. I hope to see you again soon," Haku said, standing up. "Me too," Naruto said, as he picked up a senbon on the floor that fell from her basket. "Hey, you dropped this," he said, tapping her right shoulder. She flinched in obvious pain, then when she turned around and saw the senbon, it was even worse. "I wasn't sure just now, but now I am. This girl is the kunoichi that helped Zabuza that day," Naruto thought. "Haku, I won't fight you here. But when you go back, please tell Zabuza to consider what I'm going to say. Gato doesn't plan to pay you too. In fact, he's hoping that once our fight is over, all of us would be weakened enough for him to kill with a group of mercenaries. I found this out while infiltrating his base. So I'm extending a proposition to you guys. If you help us kill Gato and the rest of his men, we can bring you back to Konoha with us," Naruto suggested. "I'll consult Zabuza on this. It's not my decision to make, though I would personally like going back with you, Konoha-nin," Haku said. Then she walked away. To Zuna's house. Tsunami was serving breakfast, toast bread with peanut butter and soft-boiled eggs. "Ohio, Mina," Naruto greeted as he entered the house and took a seat at the table. Kakashi was already up and about. "So, how's your training, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura?" Kakashi asked. "Fine. I've increased my speed and chakra control," Sasuke said. Sakura replied, "I increased my strength and genjutsu." Naruto said, "I learned 2 jutsus." This made everyone's eyes widen. "What 2, Naruto?" The blonde sighed. "If I'm going to reveal this to you guys, I'm also going to reveal another secret. But Sasuke, promise me you won't go berserk." The raven raised an eyebrow. Naruto's irises turned into a crimson red with 3 black tomo. "Sharingan? How did you get that, Naruto?" Sasuke demanded. "I think one of my ancestors was an Uchiha, though I'm not really sure, but that's not all. Yesterday, I awakened this," Naruto said, gesturing to his eyes as they warped into a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. Kakashi's eyes widened even further. "I have 2 dojutsu, as stated earlier, Kamui and Susanoo." Kakashi lifted his height, revealing his Sharingan. Then it morphed into a pinwheel pattern with 3 sides. "Kakashi-sensei, you have the Mangekyo as well? What is your ability?" Naruto asked, excited. "Kamui as well," Kakashi said. In the end, Kakashi agreed to teach Naruto the left eye techniques of Kamui. Sasuke was jealous, while Sakura was awed. Then Naruto explained about what he did with Gato, and his plans to let Haku and Zabuza go back to Konoha. He even mentioned how he would rename the company to Burning Leaf. He was still talking when Inari suddenly cried in an outburst, "What do you know about suffering? I bet you shinobi just spend the years in comfort, while every day, we fear for our lives in the hands on Gato's men." Naruto chuckled darkly, then channeled Kurama's chakra into his voice. "Kid, you don't understand how hard of a life we shinobi lead. You think you have it tough? You're wrong. Every day, we must train ourselves to get even the slightest edge against our opponents so that we can live to see the day and go back to our loved ones. We face death every single day. Even the slightest mistake can lead up to your death, so we treasure what we have and fight for our precious people. You have your mother and grandfather who love and spoil you. People like me don't even have families. I get glared at in my own village, kicked out of stores, overcharged for simple things. All you need to know is, without any precious people, you cease to have a reason to exist. If you don't stand up for yourselves, no one else can do it for you, kid." Inari then went to his bedroom to ponder on Naruto's speech. The rest of Team 7 went training. 13 days later, Naruto and his 100 clones were on the 3/4 completed bridge, helping with the building. Ever since Tazuna had found out that shinobi could stick upside down, he had sent many clones under the bridge to patch up any mistakes. 2 figures appeared on the bridge and walked towards Team 7. Naruto turned to them. "So what have you decided, Zabuza?" Naruto asked. The swordsman cast a gaze over the sheer number of clones. He shrugged. "Haku and I will join you if Gato really doesn't pay us. For now, we'll spar and wait for him to come. If he doesn't, then it's back to fighting to the death." Kakashi, Sasuke and Naruto got into fighting stances. "I'll fight Zabuza, you 2 take on Haku," Kakashi stated, and ran off. Haku dashed forward towards the 2 and began engaging both in taijutsu. "You're a speed type," Naruto analyzed as he blocked another punch. "Very good, Naruto-kun," she replied as she weaved under Naruto's fist and sent a palm strike to his face. He dodged it and used his hand to grab her arm. Then Naruto threw her onto the floor. She rolled away, coughing slightly. Suddenly, multiple senbon shot out from her hand. Naruto activated his spring-loaded kunai. With his Sharingan activated, he deflected them all. Haku stood up, then quickly avoided a kick from Sasuke. She grabbed his leg and swept the other, sending him to the floor. Meanwhile, Naruto closed in on her with a kick and planted his heel into her stomach, crashing her into a pile of cement bricks. She got up and lunged at him. Grabbing one of his arms, she formed one-handed hand seals with the other. Hijitsu, Sensatsu Sway Sho, Secret Jutsu, 1,000 flying water needles of death. Water in the air materialized into icy needles and shot towards Naruto. The blonde activated his Mangekyo and used Kamui to avoid the impaling Senbon, to which Haku facepalmed at forgetting about his ability. When Naruto became tangible again, he formed hand seals. Futon, Detapa, Wind Style, Great Breakthrough. Hearing this, Haku placed her hands in a crossguard to brace herself against the incoming wind. She was blown back by 50 meters, but managed to stay upright. Naruto took the chance and ran towards her while forming hand seals. Suiton, Suryuden no Jutsu. Naruto shouted as water picked up from the sea below and funneled into the shape of a dragon. It launched itself at Haku, who shot out her hands. Hayaton Hyogendomu, Ice Style, Ice Rock Dome. A large ice dome materialized around her, and the dragon crashed into it, exploding into a shower of water. Sasuke, let's do a combo! Naruto shouted as the raven got up. He nodded and formed 6 hand seals, while Naruto did 5. Katon, Gokaku no Jutsu, Futon de Tapa. Then both yelled, Shikuten, Genkyu no Jutsu, Scorch Style, Blaze Ball Jutsu. The Katon Jutsu, augmented by the Futon Jutsu, ripped its way towards the ice dome. Everything ended in a giant explosion. Both jutsus cancelled each other out. Hayaton, Kori Senbon, Ice Style, Ice Senbon. Haku shouted, shooting spikes of ice at both Naruto and Sasuke. Activating his Mangekyo, the left eye locked on the spikes and pulled them into his dimension. Naruto panted slightly, before recovering and drawing a kunai from his holster. It soon clashed with the Senbon in Haku's hand, then they snapped because the prongs of Naruto's kunai were made out of adamantine. The blonde spun around and delivered a roundhouse kick to her stomach, only for her to shatter into pieces of ice. The real Haku appeared in front of both of them, flashing through hand seals. Hayaton Makio Hyosho, Ice Style, Demonic Ice Mirrors. Multiple ice mirrors surrounded the two, even the top had a mirror which made the whole place look like a house. In every mirror, Haku was present, so it seemed to Sasuke. To Naruto, who had his Sharingan activated, he could track Haku and knew that she was just moving so fast that it appeared like she was everywhere. Haku decided to deal with Sasuke first as he seemed like an easier target, raining Senbon down on him. Sasuke was thinking, focus! See the Senbon and anticipate he got his reward for his effort, in the form of a pair of Sharingan. Not bad, Naruto mused as he deflected the hail of Senbon from the girl. Sasuke, just try to dodge it. I'll deflect cause my Sharingan has enough power to track her movements. Yours doesn't. Sasuke grunted but began dodging the assault while Naruto fended off the attacks. Now, how do we escape this? Naruto brainstormed. Kami, damn it! Cursed the blonde. The speed of the shower had increased, giving him less time to think. How about Kamui? Naruto thought, and channeled chakra to his right eye. However, instead of teleporting away, a thin line of blood fell from his right eye. Black flames sprouted from one of the mirrors and melted it immediately. What? Everyone thought at the same time. Wasting no time on his surprise, he grabbed Sasuke by the collar and tried to escape while deactivating what he thought was Amaterasu. However, Haku regenerated the mirror, preventing all thoughts of escape. The Senbon shower had stopped, giving Naruto enough time to think. A black aura wrapped around Naruto and Sasuke while a gray ribcage formed around them. Then it grew into a full skeleton, followed by a humanoid. When the Yamabushi armor came, every mirror exploded with a burst of black chakra, throwing Haku back by 20 meters. She rolled to a stop and coughed up blood. Then came the sound of clapping. Well, it looks like you couldn't even take care of a couple of Konohanin and an old geezer. But that's fine, because I never planned on paying you, Zabuza. Shinobi are expensive, the snobby voice of Gato echoing across the bridge. You were right, kid. Luckily I saved up energy for this, Zabuza commented as he swung the Kubikura Bocho and eyed the mercenary army Gato brought with him. You've got my respect. Take my sword and Haku back to Konoha, Zabuza said, tossing the sword to the blonde who caught it. You're the one who I'll take back my company by the end of this. Gato yelled when he spotted Naruto. But Zabuza-sama, you're not coming with us? Haku asked. The swordsman shook his head, before planting a kunai into his mouth and charging at the 100 mercenaries. At the end, he was wounded fatally, but took Gato with him to the waters of Nami no Kuni. The mercenaries all lay dead. I guess this means it's a truce, Naruto said, his hands glowing green and healing Haku from her injuries. He helped her up after that and strapped the Kubikura Bocho to his back. It was surprisingly light in his hand as he did so, but he guessed it was due to his strength. This sword would be heavy in the hands of others. Team 7 returned to Tizuna's house. The whole village was celebrating Gato's death, and once again the streets were lively, bustling with activity. Naruto went over to Gato's base and ran through his files, changing the name of the company to Burning Leaf as planned earlier. Then he cut off all illegal tradings. He didn't want to have anything illegal tied to his name. After sealing all the files away, He sold the whole 3-story house, its furniture, and any of Gato's valuables away. When he returned to the house, he was richer by 100 million ryo. Tizuna's house. Kurama, why the hell did I use Amaterasu on the bridge earlier instead of Kamui like I intended? Naruto asked through the mental link. I think because while you were channeling chakra to your right eye, you were focusing on the mirror instead of just amassing chakra. I guess you could say, you were glaring at the mirror because you were frustrated and ended up activating Amaterasu, Kurama suggested. So you mean I have to focus and channel chakra for Amaterasu, while just channel chakra for Kamui? Naruto asked. For now, I think saying the dojutsu name will suffice. Later when you progress in your training, you may be able to differentiate both easily and do them without saying their names. Also, why not check if you have Kagutsuchi? Channel chakra first to your right eye, then your left. Of course, outside. Okay, Naruto complied and did so, however there was no effect. Try thinking of what shape you want to turn it to. The black flames turned into the shape of a sword, though the whole thing was still made of flames. Then it turned into an orb. So, you apparently have Kagutsuchi, Kurama stated. Well, I have nothing to say. I'm sleeping. Thanks for ball, Naruto said. I am not a fur, Kurama roared but was cut off by Naruto cutting the mental link. The blonde snickered. The next week, over the past week, Haku was getting integrated with Team 7's people. She taught Naruto how to wield Senbon effectively, as well as striking pressure points that she said would be useful due to his Sharingan's ability. In return, Naruto acted as a source of comfort for her whenever she cried at night in her room because of Zabuza's death. He would hug her, then hold her until she fell asleep. As for Sasuke, Naruto and Kakashi began training him in the Sharingan's use. For Sakura, Haku said that her natural chakra control was good for Iryo ninjutsu, so she began tutoring her on the Shosen Jutsu, mystical palm jutsu, and which herbs to use for healing. In all good progress, Tizuna had quickly completed the bridge and soon, it was time for Team 7 and Haku to leave. All the villagers were gathered to watch the departure and send them off. What shall we name the bridge? Tizuna asked the crowd. Inari suggested, how about the Great Naruto Bridge? Everyone cheered in assent. The Great Naruto Bridge it is. The blonde smiled and whispered something in Tizuna's ear while passing him an envelope. A tear dropped from his eye and he said, Thank you so much. Naruto said, No problem. We're leaving now. Then the 5 took off for Konoha. Tsunami asked Tsusan, what did he say? He announced, Naruto said that he returned the money that Gato had taken from us all those years. The crowd cheered for their hero, and someone yelled, Let's build a statue of him in the town square. Everyone applauded loudly in agreement. Tizuna said, I'll send for the best stonesmith, and we can work on that. Naruto couldn't help but smile as he heard the loud cheers from kilometers away. It vanished when he sensed the presence of 3 Jonin-level shinobi, closing in on them at high speeds. He quickly alerted the whole group, and they stopped. The 3 Jonins had headbands stating they were from Amigekure. Naruto said, looking at the leader. Rokusho Aoi, B-rank Jonin Nukenin from Konoha. So you know me, Aoi said, taking out what appeared to be a handle resembling the shape of a vajra. It was a gray club topped by ribbed spherical heads. The ribs ended in sharp points with which to stab. Despite it being a weapon by itself, it was still a handle of a sword. Yellow chakra suddenly shot forth from the cylindrical part of the club and past the ribs, much like a lightsaber. The Raijin no Ken, Sword of the Thunder God. Omake, deleted scenes. Thanks for ball, Naruto said. I am the Might Kyubi no Yoko, not a furball. Kurama roared. Naruto replied, But you are. You have fur that is so soft and cuddly. I want to squish and hug it to death. Then he gave a fangirlish squeal that sent a shiver down the fox's spine. Naruto laughed hard as he jumped back to avoid the smashing tail of Kurama coming down at him, followed by the other 8. Oh? You know this sword? Then you should know, fighting me is useless, Aoi bragged. Naruto snorted. Yes, I know this sword. The Sword of the Thunder God belongs to the Thunder God. To be specific, the Flying Thunder God. The 3 Jonin paled at this. You don't mean, Aoi said, but was interrupted by Naruto pulling out his special kunai. I do mean, Aoi-san, said the blonde as he threw the kunai at them while drawing Kubikurabocho and subsequently, the Hako Chikuratu. Hirashin no Jutsu. He disappeared in a yellow flash, then reappeared while kicking Aoi in the chest and decapitating both of his partners simultaneously. The rest of Team 7 and Haku were astonished by the extreme speed it showed to allow a genin to kill 2 Jonin in a second. Aoi crashed into the ground 10 meters away, hacking up blood. The Raijin no Ken lay on the floor having been knocked out of his hand. You're pretty strong for a genin, Aoi said as he got up on one knee. No shit, Sherlock, Naruto replied, making his team snicker. A blue orb appeared in his hand as the Jonin stood up and charged at him. Naruto threw a kunai at his head, but Aoi dodged as expected. Hirashin, and I know Dan, Flying Raijin, level 2. Naruto shouted as he teleported to the kunai that was just behind Aoi's head. Spinning around, he thrust the Rasengan into the Nukenin's back. Aoi's eyes widened as the orb tore through his back, leaving behind a bloody and raw skin. He passed out from the pain. Geez, you'd think a Jonin would do better than that, Naruto said, picking up the Raijin no Ken. Naruto sealed Aoi into a scroll, then he watched as the blade automatically retracted into the club. He sealed it away as well, planning to return it to the Hokage. Kakashi nodded his head in approval. Let's go. The group continued on their journey back to Konoha West Gate. Team 7, coming back from mission with a potential kunoichi, Kakashi said as he and the group bypassed the gate guards. Hokage's office. C rank turned A rank? Hiruzen asked, shocked. Well, yes, though Naruto here managed to patch things up quickly. On the way back, we encountered Rokusho Aoi, Kakashi reported. Yes, that, and I now own Gato's company, which I renamed to Burning Leaf. I also own Zabuza's Kubikura Bocho, which he gave to me out of respect. I subdued Aoi and his 2 Jonin partners with ease, and Naruto said, pausing to unseal the Raijin no Ken. Then he handed it to the Hokage. Giving it a brief look, Hiruzen said, you can keep it, Naruto. Anything else? Oh yes. I plan on handing Aoi over to Ibiki. I'm sure he'll have fun with the guy who tortured his Oturo, Naruto said, chuckling evilly. This is Zabuza's apprentice, Yuki Haku. She didn't do anything to us, plus she has the Hayatan Kekkei Genkai, so I'm sure the council wouldn't mind her joining our forces. Haku bowed. Nice to meet you, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi rubbed his head in anticipation of a headache. Everyone is dismissed. Haku, you will have to be put on probation for a month and sent to Yamanaka and Noichi for a memory check. The blonde gave the scroll containing Aoi to Hiruzen and left for the apartment. When Naruto returned to the house, he took a nice, long bath. Then he headed out to train with his 2 new swords. He decided to learn how to wield both in a dual sword style, and switch between the Hako Chikura 2, the Kubikura Bocho, and the Raijin no Ken. 4 hours later, an Anbu appeared and called Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, you have been summoned to the council chambers. The blonde grinned. Council meetings were fun. Sure, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Council chambers. The Hokage asked, may I know why the council has been summoned? A civilian counselor said, we've heard that the Uzumaki brat had gotten possession of Gato's company. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow in a so? Look, he is too young to handle so much wealth. The money should be given to council and split up among us. The counselor said greedily, I'm afraid not. It is his company now, he can do whatever he wants with it, Naro Shikaka said, defending the boy. Thanks for defending me, Shikaka-san, said the boy walking out of the shadows. On top of that, I'm a genin, so technically I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want. Besides, I've been learning how to manage my money since I was 5. Ah, so the brat is here. That's not all. We heard you've gained possession of one of the 7 swords belonging to the mist. It should be given to someone more worthy to wield, like Uchiha-sama. One of the other counselors said. Naruto shook his head. The last owner gave it to me because he respected me. I am under no circumstances obliged to hand over my blade to Sasuke. What about the Raijin no Ken? It belongs to Naidame-sama. It shouldn't be with you. He argued. Again, Naruto shook his head. As a blade won in battle, it belongs to me as a spoil of war. Besides, I've already gave it to Hokage-sama, and he returned it to me, saying that I could keep it. The counselor was getting frustrated as his points were getting shot down one by Naruto's intelligence. Damn it, demon brat! Just give us the money and the swords to Uchiha-sama. The counselor yelled, but was silenced by the glowing red Sharingan in Naruto's eyes. The tomos were spinning rapidly and took on a new form. The shinobi council was shocked. How did Naruto have the Sharingan? In a trance, the counselor got up from his seat and walked in front of Naruto, whose right hand was buzzing with Futon chakra. Under Konoha's S-rank secret laws section 3b, any citizen of Konohagakure who talks or references to the Kyubi Jinchuriki as a demon or anything similar is punishable by death. This law was created by the Sandaime Hokage, and any shinobi has the jurisdiction to carry out immediate execution if possible. With the power vested in me as a shinobi of Konohagakure, I deem you guilty of this crime, Naruto said darkly. Justice shall be meted out shortly. With a single thrust, his hand impaled the man's chest and went straight to his heart. He tore it out, and used the wind blades to crush and destroy it in front of everyone in a shower of blood and gore. Anyone else? No? Thank you for your kind attention, honorable counselors. I believe this is all I can offer for this meeting, Naruto said sarcastically as he left the chambers, leaving behind a shocked council. Danzo eyed the boy in approval as he walked away. This boy was very well versed in politics and the laws of Konoha. Apartment. After running through his katas in the spacious main hall, he went to sleep. Next morning, 4 a.m., 2 figures darted through the streets of Konoha, looking for their target. When they located him, they snuck in through the window. Their target was lying on the bed, sleeping soundly. He die demon, one of them said, drawing a kunai from his holster. When he stabbed down, the kunai passed through the body and hit the bed instead. Not expecting the lack of resistance, the man fell forward. The blonde target capitalized on this and materialized, grabbing the man's arm. Twisting it with a sickening crunch, he then launched the kunai into the other intruder's neck with incredible speed. Naruto planted his feet into the first man's face and sent him crashing into his cupboard. In the darkness, a pair of red eyes with 3 black tomo glowed as they trained themselves on the man. Why are you and your partner here? We were sent to assassinate you. By who? Kurosu Hakana, a council member. Naruto's eyes almost burned holes into the back of his head. He could if he wanted to. Amaterasu. That was the man who complained about him possessing the company. Putting a genjutsu on the man and knocking him out, he sealed him and the other man into a scroll. The Hokage would hear about this. Later in the day, Kurosu Hakana was walking down a deserted street on his way back home. He passed by a training ground when he heard some noises. Okay, we'll hide the 1,000,000,000 ryo here. Tomorrow we'll come back, okay? A masked man said to another. The other man nodded and both left, much to Hakana's glee. After checking that the coast was clear, he ran to the area and bent down, beginning to dig. That is, until he heard someone say, "Wow, you're greedier than I thought." When he turned around, he found himself restrained by golden flaming chains. "You! I thought you were dead? How that's what you will be. Ikkuse Kyubi!" Naruto yelled, slamming his palm onto the floor. In a burst of smoke, Kurama appeared 10 times smaller than his actual size. His current size was about the size of a regular boss summon. The man started shitting himself when red and blue orbs merged to form a purple sphere. Bijudama, tailed beast bomb. The fox fired it at the man, detonating it as an explosion which vaporized the training ground. That was just a mini version. A full-powered Bijudama would destroy an entire village with a single blast. That was fun, Kurama said as he dispelled and returned to the mindscape. TSK, Naruto replied, walking away as if nothing had happened. After all, the Sandaime authorized his execution. Hiruzen's sweat dropped in his office at how Naruto dealt with Counselor. Wasn't that overkill? The blonde then threw himself into training with Haku and rest of Team 7. It was for the Chunin exams coming up in 6 months' time. Naruto planned to get promoted. Make extras. Far away, Narumi and Itachi were in an Akatsuki hideout in aim. Toby called her, "Tomato." The feisty redhead snapped, "Get back here, you little punk." The masked man was running away, phasing through walls. Which was annoying for Narumi because she couldn't hit him with her fists. But Toby is a good boy. "Shut up. I'll kill you." 6 months later, over the past half year, Team 7 had completed many D ranks, and even a few more C ranks which had almost always escalated to higher ranks. It would seem they couldn't get a normal C rank. In one of them, he went to Takigakure and met a fellow Jinchuriki named Fu who hosted the Nanabai. She was the guardian of her village's Ayu no Mizu, hero water, which increased the chakra reserves but shortened the lifespan of whoever drank it. The Nanabai was a flying Kabutamushi, rhinoceros beetle, named Chome, so as her Jinchuriki Fu could utilize insects like the Abirame. She and Shino would have been good friends. After the mission, Konoha had an alliance with Takigakure and Burning Leaf as a trading unit between them. In another mission, Naruto defeated the tyrant Kazuhana Doto in Yuki no Kuni, Land of Snow. He had killed his brother and predecessor Kazuhana Sosetsu for the position of Snow Daimyo. The blonde then helped the actress Kazuhana Koiki, who was Doto's niece and the late daimyo's daughter, take her rightful position as daimyo. Naturally, she formed an alliance with Konoha, once again with Burning Leaf being the trading unit. The Land of Snow had many futuristic devices like chakra armor, volley guns which fired kunais and ice bombs. Also, the country had been renamed to Haru no Kuni, Land of Spring. The list went on. Naruto helped the daimyos of Tori no Kuni, Land of Birds, and Na no Kuni, Land of Vegetables, to reclaim their positions, all ending in alliances with Konoha and Burning Leaf. In all, it was quite a productive 6 months. Naruto had trained himself to the ground with shadow clones in anticipation of the Chunin exams. Though judging by the current level he was about Jonin level. Today, the team had a meeting. Dainanahan, I've nominated you for the Chunin exams. If you want to take part, go to room 301 in the academy 3 days from now, Kakashi announced. The genins of Team 7 nodded. Dismissed, he said, then disappeared in a shunshin. So how did the training for you two go? Fine, I learned from Haku-chan's speed and Saban techniques, as well as aerial ninjutsu, Sakura said. The Uchiha replied, HN? I learned from Haku-chan how to increase my speed and reflexes even further. Plus I got my Sharingan to 2 tomo each. Haku-chan, is it? Naruto teased. Shut up. Naruto chuckled and waved his hand in a placating gesture, before saying, I trust you guys will come to the Chunin exams? Sasuke smirked, while Sakura said, you bet. Naruto nodded. I will too. As for his training, he had progressed far with both Kamui, Amaterasu and Susanoo. For Kamui, he could now easily suck in objects with his left eye and turn intangible instantaneously with his right. Regarding Amaterasu, Naruto had increased the speed and intensity of the flames exponentially, while being able to form weapons out of it with Kagetsuchi. For some reason, he himself was immune to the flames so he could wield it as a sword or bow and arrow with his bare hands. His Susanoo had the most noticeable improvements. He could manifest 2 special weapons, the Tatsuka no Tsurugi, Tatsuka Blade, and the Yada no Kagami, 8-span mirror. The Tatsuka no Tsurugi was special. Its handle was a sake jar while the blade was made out of sake spilt from it. Whenever the blade touched an enemy, it would seal him or her inside the sake jar for eternity, trapped in an endless genjutsu. As for the Yada no Kagami, it was a shield made of all 5 elements, so any elemental ninjutsu attack will fail against it. Since it is also made out of the same material as the rest of the Susanoo, it is also immune to taijutsu attacks. Lastly, he was able to form the Yasaka no Magatama as 3 Magatama linked by a single chakra thread, or as several hundred linked by an interconnecting thread. That said, he could manifest legs for his Susanoo, though it was destabilized and could only go up to level 2, the humanoid form. He planned to stabilize the chakra and let it up to level 3, where there was plated armor and swords. Not to mention, he could manifest 2 extra arms and faces for his current Susanoo. When he achieved level 3, there would be a total of 6 arms. He was getting excited, but he still noticed a poorly camouflaged box following him. Naruto let out a sigh. Reveal yourselves. In a burst of smoke, the box disappeared and revealed 3 children, who were coughing. The kid who seemed to be the leader whispered to his friends, I think we put too much gunpowder. Then he stood up straight. I'm Sarutobi Konohamaru. The girl next to him said, I'm Moegi. I'm Udan. A kid wearing glasses and a drip of mucus coming out of his nostril introduced. And together, we're the Konohamaru Corps. Konohamaru shouted. Naruto sat down on an imaginary chair with legs crossed, saying, Tell me more. We've been following you around and decided that you're worthy of being called our boss. Will you teach us some cool jutsus? Konohamaru asked. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Sarutobi, huh? This is the Hokage's grandson, he thought. Well, first off, to be a good shinobi, Naruto started, trailing off to increase their anticipation. You must increase your stealth skills. I know it might not be fair because I'm a censor, but I'm pretty sure any decent genin can sense you. Also, work on your speed. The Konohamaru Corps nodded eagerly and took off running. Further down the street, a cry was heard. Alarmed, Naruto went over quickly to see the ruckus. A boy about their age dressed in a catsuit and purple war paint with a Suna hideite was lifting up Konohamaru by his collar. Next to him was a teal-eyed blonde girl with 4 ponytails and a giant Tezzan iron fan strapped to her back. Kankuro, put him down. If he sees us we're dead, she chided harshly. Kankuro scoffed. This kid bumped into me. I just want to have a little fun. Naruto stepped up to the 2. Please put him down, Kankuro-san. The 2 Sunanins checked him out. Who the hell are you? Kankuro asked, while the girl thought, this guy is attractive. It doesn't matter, bullying the Hokage's grandson will spark an international incident. So please put him down. Now, why should I? Because I have a Kage Bunshin ready to cleave your body in half at my command. Kankuro tilted his head to the side, and noticed Kubikuribocho poised over his head. He immediately dropped the boy. And Ichi, stop hiding in the tree, Naruto commented after sensing a malevolent chakra source in the tree nearby. Sand swirled next to Kankuro and took the shape of a redhead boy with the kanji for love etched onto his forehead. Ichi? The girl asked. Then she put 2 and 2 together and got 4. Kankuro, he's a Jinchuriki as well. The boy in the catsuit immediately stepped back. Nice to meet you, Q. The redhead said. I'm Sabaku no Gaara, and these are my siblings Sabaku no Temari and Sabaku no Kankuro. Who are you? I'm Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto stated. Nice to meet you, I look forward to spilling your blood, Gaara said bloodthirstily. Naruto suppressed a shiver down his spine. What did Shikaku, the Ichibi, do to make his host so crazy and full of bloodlust? Shikaku is known to drive his hosts crazy, depriving them of sleep and pretending to be someone close to them in order to trick them, Kurama explained. The blonde discreetly activated his Sharingan and entered Gaara's mindscape. The seal was weak, very weak. Which idiot used a 5-point seal on a bijou? To securely seal Shikaku, it required at least a 7-point seal. The minimum number of points was 6 more than the number of tails that the bijou had. His own was a 16-point seal, 2 for each of the 8 tetragrams. This was 1 more point than required, making Naruto's seal very secure. Gaara's looked like it could be released any moment. Naruto's fingers danced in the form of hand seals before he slammed it down on Gaara's seal. Now, Shikaku wouldn't be able to influence the redhead because the seal had been upgraded to 8 points. He left the seal and said to Gaara, who looked shocked because his mother was no longer yelling in his mind, "You can sleep peacefully now, Gaara." The redhead turned and walked away with his siblings with the new revelation in his head. Naruto asked the Konohamaru Corps to train by themselves and not run around recklessly. Then he went to Ichiraku Ramen. Ichiraku Ramen. He saw a pretty young girl at the stand getting pushed around by a boy. He was grabbing her arm and attempting to take her out despite her outright refusal. Naruto stepped up. Please let go of the lady's arm. The boy turned to him and snorted before flinging her arm away. You wouldn't do that if you knew who she was. She's the demon bitch. Naruto winced at the familiar insult while the lady flinched, fully expecting Naruto to ignore her. He replied, she ain't any demon. All I see is a pretty young lady who is getting harassed by a boy. Whatever, your funeral. Then the boy left. Thank you, the girl said. She was blonde and had her hair done up in a ponytail. She was also wearing black pants and a short-sleeved black and purple blouse with purple fingerless gloves and a chain of blue beads wrapped around her left arm. I'm Miyujuto, she introduced herself. Naruto smiled. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Why was that boy harassing you anyways? She sighed. Back in Kumo, every boy wants to get into my pants. Just to tell their friends that they had sex with the demon bitch. You shouldn't call yourself that, Naruto said, frowning. You're no demon, just a beautiful young girl, okay? Yujuto blushed. You really mean that? Or do you just want to get into my pants? Naruto shook his head. I really think so. I'm not like other boys. Yujuto cocked her head to the side. Oh really? How so? I'm like you. I guess you could call me Q. The girl gasped in recognition. I've always wanted to meet another container, she said excitedly. The two chatted about their lives while eating many bowls of ramen, for many hours straight. I like you, Kyukun, Naruto smiled. I like you too, Yujito-san. Perhaps we should meet again here tomorrow, same time? Yujito nodded in agreement. Before she left, she said, You can call me Yujito-chan. Naruto replied, Then call me Naruto-kun. See you tomorrow. After paying for both their meals, he left as well, leaving behind a super happy Tsuchi as he had just earned a small fortune from both Jinchuriki's food. Naruto proceeded to train again, this time in a new technique that he had created from Fuinjutsu. It was simple, really. Since the gravity seals allowed him to manipulate gravity so that it became heavier for weights, he used them in reverse such that it allowed him to have almost zero gravity, that is, flying. However, he still had to learn flight control, otherwise he would end up upside down and regurgitating. The next day, once again after training, he met up with Yujito for lunch. There, he met Yujito's sensei, Killer Bee. He was a tall, buff man with sunglasses and 7 swords on his back. He liked to rap, albeit horribly, and was also the Hachibi Jinchuriki. Yo, Q my man, I'm Hachi, the great Killer Bee, he first rapped when they met. Naruto became fast friends with Bee and actually learned to tolerate his rapping, Yujito's tips. They traded tips about training and talking to their respective Bija. In fact, they even entered the Bija Shinso Shinri, tailed Bee's psyche plane, for everyone to meet. Naruto discussed with them about Gaara's plight, and how he solved it, marveling the other two with his profound knowledge of Fuinjutsu. Did anyone tell you so? You look like the Kiroi Senko? Bee asked. Naruto nodded and asked why though. Bee rapped, from the blonde hair to blue eyes, in Fuinjutsu you are just as wise. With everything said and done, I would have thought you were his. Kurama sent his tail over to the Jinchuriki, stopping him from finishing the truth. What? Son? Naruto finished. The Kyuubi sighed, and Naruto took that as a yes. I'm his son? Actually that would make sense. He died during Kurama's attack on Konoha, and you were born on the same day so he used you as the Jinchuriki, Yujito theorized as she sat on Matatabi the two-tailed Bakaniko, demon cat. I know he was a nobleman, so he wouldn't use anyone else's child for the ceiling when he couldn't even give up his own. Gyuki the 8-tailed Ushioni, ox demon, added. Kurama sighed again. It's true. Naruto looked up to the other two Jinchurikis. Could you please keep this a secret? The two Kumonin nodded. It was shocking to know that one of the best shinobi ever to grace the elemental nations was your father. They would give him time to mull over it. That's actually pretty awesome now that I think about it, Naruto said. The other two sweat dropped. My father is the Yondaime, I guess I'll have to keep it under wraps until I'm strong enough to fend off his enemies, Naruto concluded, receiving nods from the other Jinchurikis. They may have been from different villages, but they all shared one thing in common, being Jinchurikis, so they knew they could trust each other. That, and now I know, Narumi-sensei was my sister, Naruto thought. Well, it was fun talking to you, Naruto-kun. We've got to leave for training now. See you tomorrow, Yujito said. Same to you, Naruto replied before leaving. If he was right, this feeling in his heart, it was love. But he wouldn't be able to act on it anyway considering that she was from another village, he sighed. It was one day before the Chunin exams, now was not the time to think of such things. Some final training. The next morning. Yo! Sasuke and Sakura, let's head over now. Naruto greeted the two. Sasuke gave a HN as he walked off towards the academy. TCH, Naruto ground out, sprinting towards the academy. When they reached the second floor, there was a large crowd around room 301. 2 genins were standing at the door, blocking the entrance to it. Genjutsu, Naruto thought as he dispelled it. Most likely to weed out the weaker ones. In fact, the 2 people blocking the door were actually the Chunin Suzumo and Kotetsu, known as the Eternal Gate Guards, for they always seemed to be on duty guarding the gates of Konoha. Naruto continued up the next flight of stairs, as did his teammates. Glad to see you made it, came the voice of Kakashi from on top of the stairs. Good luck. Room 301. The classroom was huge, many people were already seated. At the back were the rookie 9. I see you actually made it, Kiba said. Naruto nodded in acknowledgement. The rest chatted among themselves. The blonde took the time to analyze the people in the room. There were 20 teams from Konoha, 5 teams from Kumo, 7 teams from Suna, 2 teams from Kusa and 3 from Oto. You shouldn't be that loud, you might attract unwanted attention, a silver-haired bespectacled Konohanin said while approaching them. Who are you? Ino asked. I'm Yakushi Kabuto, the guy said. You could see me as a veteran in these exams, I guess. This is my 7th try. Wow, you must really suck, Kiba commented. Kabuto smirked. These exams are harder than you think. Anyways, I might be able to help you guys out a little. With my ninja info cards. He pulled out a deck of cards with the kanji for endure on the back face that were blank on the front. What the heck are those? Sakura asked. They are special cards imbued with information about the exams that I've collected over the years. It responds to my chakra and gives me the information that I want to know. Got anyone in mind? I would like to know about Sabaku no Gaara, Naruto said. Kabuto placed his fingertips on the card, which began to spin with his chakra flowing into it. Words and pictures appeared soon. Sabaku no Gaara. This is his mission experience. He had 30 D ranks, 8 C ranks, and get this, 1 B rank. His sensei is Baki and his teammates are Sabaka no Temari and Sabaka no Kankuro, who are also his siblings. The 3 siblings are children of the Yondaime Kazekage. Interesting to note, he has come out of every single mission without a single scratch, Kabuto read. Uzumaki Naruto, Sasuke demanded. Naruto raised an eyebrow in response. Uzumaki Naruto. This is his mission experience. 60 D ranks, 20 C ranks, 9 B ranks, 6 A ranks and 2 S ranks. Everyone stared at him in awe, to which he shrugged. But he narrowed his eyes. The one of the S ranks were supposed to be secret. Flashback. Naruto had a simple D rank to help a farmer, but came across a trapdoor somewhere on the hill. He entered it cautiously with clones, ensuring that there were no traps. It was a tunnel leading to a whole underground laboratory with many chemicals and blood samples, notably of all the dead Hokages. The place smelled strongly of snakes. Naruto immediately contacted the Hokage, and later they found that the lab belonged to his old student Orochimaru of the Sannin. The mission was upgraded to S rank, and he got payment for it in exchange for keeping it a secret. Present. He had many senseis: Hataki Kakashi, Uchiha Itachi, Namikaze Narumi, Mado Gai, Yuhi Kurinai, Uchiha Mikoto, and Yuzuki Yugao. Sasuke glared at him after finding out that his mother and 2 of the people he hated most were his senseis. His teammates are Uchiha Sasuke and Hirano Sakura. He is currently the richest man in the elemental nations, being the CEO of Burning Leaf. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Kabuto. How did he know so much? Please stop, I would like to keep the rest to myself, Naruto requested. Kabuto nodded and replaced the card in his deck. Well, to conclude, this time's exams are tough. Though I wouldn't worry about the minor villages like Oto so much, Kabuto said, sliding his glasses further up his nose bridge. Suddenly, 3 shapes blurred towards Kabuto. They were 3 Otonin who heard Kabuto's comment and decided to take action against him. 2 of them wore gauntlets on their hands with holes in them. The bigger of 2 swung his fist towards Kabuto. Naruto grabbed the bespectacled Nin by his sleeve and pulled him out of the way successfully. However, Kabuto's glasses cracked and he fell to the floor, throwing up. Naruto furrowed his brows, but he missed unless the gauntlet the Otonin uses produces high-pitched sound from those holes and use them to distort vision and cause pain. At the same time, the frequency is so high that it cracks his glasses, so that's why they're called Oto, Naruto deduced in his head. Kurama was impressed, so he decided to give him an observation. Naruto, Kabuto smells like snakes. The blonde thought back to the mission that uncovered Orochimaru's lab. However, he didn't pull Kabuto out of the way because he wanted to save him. He looked down at the tiny piece of cloth that Naruto had ripped off of Kabuto's sleeve. It would be enough to provide Masaru a trail to track him later. Okay, sit down and shut up, maggots. Fighting is strictly prohibited. Save your spunk for the second test, yelled a man who appeared with several other chunits. A smile tugged at Naruto's lips. The man was Marino Ibiki, head of Konoha's torture and interrogation. The chunits began giving out papers. Ibiki said, the first part of the exams is a written test. There are a set of rules. Firstly, you are graded in a point system. Everyone starts with 10 points. Answering the first 9 questions correctly will let you keep the points. A point is deducted for every question answered wrongly or left blank. 2 points every time you are caught cheating. This is very likely because the chunins here beside me will act as sentinels, watching your every move. A total of 5 times caught, and you and your whole team will fail. Also, if any teammate gets 0 points, the whole team will fail as well. The 10th question will be given out 15 minutes before the end of the test. You have 1 hour. Hajime. The sound of papers flipping echoed throughout the room as the candidates began the test. The blonde's eyes scanned the paper quickly, determining them to be Jonin-level questions. What the hell were they doing on a Chunin exam test? Unless the objective was information gathering, well, that wouldn't be necessary. Naruto's pencil hit the paper and began writing out answers. Now he was thankful that Narumi-sensei Nei-chan forced him to read those books. After he was done, he blew the test paper into his dimension to prevent others from copying it. Discreetly eyeing the room, Sakura was just like him, knowing the answers, while Sasuke was using his Sharingan to copy the pencil movements of a Chunin disguised as a genin in front of him. Soon, 45 minutes passed. Right. The 10th question is going to be given. However, you can choose whether to take it or not, Ibiki said. Not taking it would result in you and your team failing immediately. Then of course we'd take the question, Kiba cried. Ibiki smirked. However, if you take the question and answer wrongly, you will never be able to take the Chunin exams again for the rest of your life. At that statement, many teams gave up, leaving behind about 20. No one else? Ibiki asked sadistically. If we don't possess the courage to take the risk of this question, we are not fit to be Chunin, Naruto answered. Ibiki smiled and clapped. Well said. All of you in this room passed the first test. What? Came many candidates' responses. As the gentleman here said, it was to test if you had the courage required of a Chunin. Many times in your jobs, you will have to make risky decisions that might get you and your teammates injured or killed. Courage is having the guts to take this risk and accomplish the mission. But at the same time, courage is not recklessness. You want to accomplish the mission with as little casualties as possible. In the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum, Naruto finished. Ibiki smiled again. That smile quickly disappeared when he had to sidestep a ball of cloth that broke through the window and unfurled into a large rectangular banner with 4 kunais tied to it, one on each corner. The kunais planted themselves into the floor and ceiling, holding it in place as a kunoichi appeared. The banner read, "The sexy and single proctor of the second test, Mitarashi Anko." The kunoichi stepped forward. "Hey kids, I'm your proctor for the second test. Meet at training ground 44, don't be late." Ibiki stepped out from behind the banner. "You're early again, Anko. I just want to have a more little fun with them, couldn't I?" Naruto was sure. Her idea of fun wasn't the same as his. Make deleted scenes. Ibiki checked his watch. It was the usual time when Anko would burst through the window. He smirked as the ball of cloth hit the window without breaking it, and he heard a loud groan. "Oops, forgot to tell Anko that we replaced the usual glass with some tempered titanium alloy glass." Anko disappeared in a body flicker as the candidates began filing out of the room. Naruto then returned his test paper to the real world from his dimension. After the blonde did so, he swiped his thumb across his sharp canines and cut it. Going to a discreet place, he summoned Masaru. "Masaru-san, I need you to trail this suspicious guy. He wears a purple shirt and a white undershirt, with medical tape around his waist. He has silver hair and wears black circle-rimmed spectacles. Here's his scent." Then Naruto took the part of the sleeve that he had ripped off Kabuto and put it in front of Masaru's nose. The fox sniffed it for a bit before nodding. "I'll come to you if I find anything." Then he disappeared into the environment. Naruto stood up and took inventory of his weapons. Saban launcher loaded, spring-loaded kunais ready, senbons, shurikens, and special kunais all in their places. Good. Then he walked off. Along the way, he met a lost Yujito and offered to bring her there. They began talking about the first test and how they passed it. She was impressed with his humility considering his wealth of knowledge. "See you," Naruto said as he left her for his team to discuss stuff. 30 minutes later. The rules are simple. The second test is one of survival. In the 44th training ground, or the Forest of Death, you will have 5 days for your whole team to get either a Heaven or Earth scroll, the opposite of the one you are given at the start, and make your way to the tower in the middle of the forest with every single teammate intact. Now enter this tent to sign a waiver and get your scroll. We shall not be held responsible for any deaths that occur in the forest. Oh yes, deaths will be common, Anko said, enjoying the traumatized looks on many genins. Each team entered and after signing, were told to hide their scroll with one of the members. Sasuke chose Naruto as the holder, to which he agreed as he had the ultimate defense no one else had. Each team proceeded to a different gate at every part of the fence surrounding the forest. Tip, don't die. Hajime. The fence doors opened and Team 7 shot in with great speed, traversing multiple trees in a single leap. So what's the plan? Sakura asked. Our first priority will be to locate a river. You guys know why, right? Said Naruto as he pushed off another tree. Sakura nodded. So that we have a stable source of water, as well as a chance to attack other teams on the river who might have an earth scroll. Sasuke gave a HN in agreement. Based on the tone of that single syllable, it was possible to tell what his real response. Okay, I'll scout ahead by turning into an eagle. Nanajuni Henge, Washi. Naruto said as his body morphed into the very avian animal he was talking about. Spreading his wings, he soared high into the sky. Many explosions indicated teams had begun clashing. Up ahead was a river. The eagle swooped down to his team, transforming back into Naruto mid-flight. There's a river at 2 o'clock. The other two sped up after changing their direction slightly. Suddenly Naruto yelled, incoming. 6 kunai shot out from their right. 5 were deflected by Naruto's special kunai while the last one was picked out of the air by Sasuke and thrown back to the enemy. The rebounded kunai lodged into another human, causing a loud scream. 1 shinobi and a kunoichi lunged out from the trees, most probably the deceased's teammates. Naruto had a long line of ninja wire with kunais attached to both ends, so he threw it horizontally at the kunoichi, binding her to a tree as the kunais whipped around it and flew back at Naruto. The blonde caught them after forming hand seals. Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Dragon Fire Jutsu. Fire spewed forth from his mouth and shot along the lines of ninja wire, incinerating her. Wyu the shinobi started before he had to duck back to avoid a Saban swipe from Sakura. After missing, she spun around and delivered a roundhouse kick to the genin's stomach, sending him crashing into the tree. The presence of his teammate's body caused him to rebound forward, straight through the length of the Raijin no Ken. He died. The 3 began ransacking them for their scroll and found that they also had a heaven scroll. They sighed but used their weapons to restock. Naruto detected 3 shinobis running in their direction. His eyes bled red and warped into the Mangekyo, 1 kilometer away. In the midst of running, 2 of the 3 dropped to the floor, heads in their hands. They were screaming their lungs out. Arg! Itai! Itai! Yamate! The 2 screamed, clutching their heads in extreme pain. Their remaining teammate was scared shitless, not knowing what the hell to do. Genjutsu? She thought. Suddenly they stopped. They got up, smiling. Then both stabbed her before slitting their own throats. Back to Team 7. Naruto panted slightly as his eyes returned to normal. Any more enemies? Sasuke asked, keeping a kunai in his holster. No. Let's go to the river. Naruto took the extra heaven scroll. You would never know if you needed one. The three continued on their journey northwest towards the source of life, the river. It was a peaceful 6-meter wide stream that flowed eastwards. When he got to the bank, Naruto cupped his hands and drank some water. His teammates did the same, while he set up a small sleeping area in the giant tree hollow at the bottom of a tree near the river. The two of you can bathe or rest first. I'll alert you if there are any enemies, said Naruto as he dashed up the tree to the canopy. Sasuke entered the hollow to rest while Sakura undressed to bathe in the river. Kagura no Shingon, Naruto whispered under his breath, activating his long-range sensory abilities. So far so good. I can see teammate 9, 10, Haku. She took the exam solo. Gai-sensei's team, Kabuto's team and Yujito's team. Also there's 2 Odo teams, 1 Kusa team, 3 Suna teams and 2 other Kumo teams left. He heard a scream from far away. That chakra, Naruto thought, furrowing his brow. A shadow clone burst into existence next to him. Take over watch, mark the tree and dispel yourself if there's trouble, Naruto ordered. The clone nodded. The original shot off into the trees towards the scream at an extreme speed. When he came to a small clearing, he spotted a redhead girl, cowering from her enemy in fear. Her enemy? A bear. With a single roundhouse kick, Naruto took the bear down. The girl scrambled to pick up her fallen glasses and put them on to see her savior. Who are you? Please don't hurt me. Naruto noticed her flaming red hair. Tell me, are you an Uzumaki? The girl nodded slowly. How did you know? So am I. I'm a censor, you see. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. The girl looked surprised. I'm a censor too. My name is Uzumaki Karen. We're related, huh? I guess I could call you Amuto, Naruto said as he helped her. Hi Aniki, Karen said, trying out the new word on her tongue. She decided she liked how it sounded. Where are your teammates? They're dead. Another team ambushed us, Karen said. Naruto nodded in understanding. Kyuso. He cursed as memories rushed to him. What's wrong, Aniki? My teammates need me, now. Hold on. The Namikaze grabbed his relative and used Hiraishin to get to the scene. The river, tree lookout point. Stay here, he whispered. Forming hand seals, he cast a high-level genjutsu over her so no one would spot her. Now the enemy. He looked up. It appeared to be a Kusa Kunoichi. The overpowering scent of snakes said otherwise. He narrowed his eyes as his teammates took stances beside him. Orochimaru, what do you want? Kakuku, how intuitive of you, Naruto-kun, he said, chuckling as he tore the Kusa Kunoichi's skin off himself like a suit. I came for the Uchiha. Sasuke activated his Sharingan. No way in hell, you pedophile. Orochimaru looked stung by the insult. Let's play, he hissed, flashing through hand seals. Kuchios no Jutsu. A giant snake appeared with a burst of smoke, slightly unnerving Team 7's members. Well, except Naruto. Take care of Naruto-kun right there in the middle, Orochimaru ordered. The snake lunged at him, smashing the spot where the 3 genins used to be. Naruto ran from his teammates and led the snake away. When they were alone, Naruto sneered as his eyes turned a ruby red with 3 swirling Magatama. Sharingan. The snake fell under Naruto's hypnotism, which allowed the blonde to finish it off quickly. When he got back to his team, he could see that they were obviously struggling against Orochimaru. Sasuke was in fact frozen with fear. Sasuke! Sasuke, snap out of it and do something! Naruto yelled fiercely. That was all it took as Sasuke's gaze hardened. He just upgraded to a pair of Tutomo Sharingan. Naruto smiled as both glared at Orochimaru with their Sharingan. Junbai Dekita? Naruto asked. Hi! Sasuke flashed through hand seals while Naruto's eyes warped into a pair of Mangekyo. His left eye was amassing chakra, preparing to use Kagetsuchi on Sasuke's technique. As the fire spewed forth from his mouth, they morphed into multiple dragon heads. Both yelled Katan, Goryoka no Jutsu, fire style, Great Dragon Fire Jutsu. Instinctively, Orochimaru raised his hands to block the Katan Jutsu. I'll go, Sasuke uttered as he sped forward. Naruto unleashed a volley of kunais after him, making sure none hit his teammate. They rained on Orochimaru, pelting him with the sharp instruments. When behind him, Sasuke plucked up a kunai from the air and began slashing at Orochimaru. Naruto, both Sharingan users dashed forward with their kunai, meeting each other in the center where the target was. They delivered 2 fatal wounds to the snake Sannin. Orochimaru collapsed to the floor. His Sharingan glowing, Sasuke declared, Koregie Uchiha no Chikara de. Sakura smiled at their efficient teamwork. This was one of their favorite collaboration ninjutsus, called Midar Setsujeka, Turbulent 4 Seasons. The sound of clapping echoed across the river. I thought you were good, but not that good. You just proved me wrong. You too, Naruto-kun. I didn't expect the Sharingan, much less the Mangekyo from you, Orochimaru rasped, licking his lips in anticipation. The Orochimaru that they beat melted into mud. TSK, mud clone, Naruto muttered under his breath. The blonde quickly drew 3 arrows, launching them at Orochimaru. He quickly avoided them, though narrowly. Naruto jumped at the snake Sannin, starting out with a spinning kick. After the Nukenin blocked it, the blonde turned another 180 degrees in midair with another kick. This time Orochimaru swiped the foot away, pushing Naruto away from him. As the blonde spun, his hand pulled a kunai from his holster and slashed downwards. Predictably, the flexible body of the Sannin allowed him to turn his body and avoid the slash, which he then capitalized on and grabbed Naruto's outstretched arm, pulling him forward. Naruto's Sharingan foresaw that, so he made use of his momentum to do a front flip while kicking the Sannin in the face. Orochimaru glared at him. Suddenly his tongue extended from his mouth, its tip wrapped around a sword that Naruto recognized as the legendary Kusanagi no Tsurugi, grass-mowing sword. The Kusanagi shot towards Naruto as a thrust, parried quickly by the Kubikura Bocho. Its superior weight threw off Orochimaru's sword, implanting it into a tree trunk. The Sannin had to jump up to avoid a fireball from Sasuke, then he formed his arms in a crossguard in order to block a punch from Sakura. However, the strength behind the blow was still enough to send him flying into an adjacent tree, leaving behind a crater. Naruto went behind his teammates while sealing away the giant's sword. "You guys know what to do?" he asked, tapping their backs and handing Sasuke the white light chakra saber. "Torefosu Triforce?" Sakura asked, grinning. Sasuke flashed through hand seals. "Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu." He called just as Naruto launched a barrage of Hiraishin kunais at the recovering Orochimaru, accompanied by the fireballs. The Sannin's eyes widened and he immediately raised his hands in a block. Meanwhile, Sasuke had already begun the next set of hand seals, charging a Chidori, Thousand Birds, that Kakashi taught him for the Chunin exams. Sakura had chakra pooled in her limbs, ready for a smackdown. "Yash! Ikuyo!" Naruto said, teleporting both of them with Hiraishin to the kunais. His Hiraishin could teleport other people with or without himself, as long as he was physically connected with them, or with his chakra. Sasuke appeared with a kunai on top of Orochimaru and came down with the Chidori, striking his back. Sakura appeared behind him. Using one hand, she leaped over Sasuke's bent back and sent a kick to the Sannin's head, followed by another one which propelled him away from them. After she rolled away to the floor safely, Sasuke sprinted after the stumbling Sannin and uppercut him with the Chidori, with himself ending up in the sky. "Sasuke! Sakura!" Naruto called as he teleported towards Orochimaru, Hiraishin kunai in hand. Sasuke drew the Hako Chakura too and dropped down while Sakura took out a kunai with chakra around it, running towards the Sannin. All three gave a battle cry as they slashed Orochimaru with their respective weapons. The Sannin collapsed to the floor and coughed up a pool of blood. His skin was charred and bruised where the Chidori and Sakura's kicks hit, along with 3 deep gashes where their blades hit. The Uchiha returned the tanto to Naruto, and they jumped away from Orochimaru as his mouth opened. The snake Sannin hissed, before his mouth opened unbelievably wide. He was vomiting out himself. Team 7's Genins flinched in disgust. A new Orochimaru crawled out of his old body, unharmed as if he just shed his skin. "Not bad for a bunch of Genins, to force me to shed my old body," the Sannin praised. "Just what the hell are you?" Sakura cried. Watching Orochimaru vomit himself out made her want to vomit. "Hee tough question," the Sannin replied with a syringe in hand. He lunged suddenly at Sasuke, who clearly ran out of chakra. Naruto instinctively performed a kawarimi with him, bracing himself as the cold metal of the needle pierced the soft skin of his neck. The liquid entered his bloodstream quickly before Orochimaru even had a chance to pull out. "Never mind, you'll do fine as well." Then the Sannin did the unexpected. His neck extended and his teeth latched onto Sasuke's neck, puncturing it like a vampire. The Uchiha cried out loud, clutching his neck in pain. 3 black tomo appeared in the pattern of a Mitsudomo on his skin. It was the Ten no Juin, or the Cursed Seal of Heaven. Orochimaru's neck retracted quickly and he gave a few parting words. "If you want power, come to me, Uchiha Sasuke." Then he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruto thought worriedly, what the hell did he inject into me? He was feeling queasy, like he wanted to vomit. He emptied his breakfast into the river. Sakura went to him and began applying medical chakra. He felt slightly better, but she insisted that he had to rest. While she attended to Sasuke, Naruto undid the genjutsu on Karen. After a few introductions, he and she went to sleep in the giant tree hollow. It was quite comfortable and shady as well. Sakura brought Sasuke into the hollow, and cast a genjutsu over the hollow making it disappear. It was getting late into the evening. The next morning, Naruto's eyes opened and blinked, sitting up. He stretched himself lightly. Noting that the other 3 were still asleep, Naruto planted his signature kunai into the hollow in case one of them woke up and found him missing. He exited the tree hollow and noticed the genjutsu over it. While it was nothing against his Sharingan, he was impressed that Sakura bothered. He cast a better genjutsu over it. Naruto shot up into the canopy, extending his senses for enemies. 11 o'clock, 2 kilometers. He drew 3 arrows, Sharingan glowing. As he released the bowstring and the flights of the arrows, they picked up speed and shot through the forest. 2 kilometers away, a light whizzing sound was the last thing they heard before all 3 in that team dropped dead. Back at the tree lookout point, Naruto smirked, feeling their chakra signatures vanish. He surveyed the area. The rest of the rookie 9, Gai-sensei's team, Kabuto's team, Yujito's team, Haku and 1 Oto team left shit. He cursed. In his urge to count the teams, he didn't realize the one from Oto were closing in on them, fast. 2 shinobi and 1 kunoichi entered the clearing, though they haven't spotted Naruto yet. Where's that Uchiha? One of the shinobi said. So they were after Sasuke. The kunoichi replied, I don't know, but Orochimaru-sama said to kill him and that they were at the river. Orochimaru sent them? Why would he unless he wanted to test Sasuke with that curse seal? Naruto jumped down and caused the 3 to flinch and move back. I recognize you, you're the one that pulled Kabuto away, the last shinobi said. He realized that he was the Otonin who attacked Kabuto. Wait, he called him Kabuto, knowing his name. That screamed Kabuto's involvement with Otogekure and by extension, probably Orochimaru as well. Where's your teammate? The first shinobi asked. Naruto didn't answer and spun his kunai quickly. Not gonna answer? Zaku, get him! The other shinobi shouted and the first lunged at the blonde. Naruto kicked him into a tree easily, making him hack up blood. You son of a, he swore, but was cut off by the kunai implanting next to his head. Naruto didn't feel like killing first thing in the morning, lucky them. The kunoichi shot off after the first, using strings and bells to weave a net around Naruto. Impatient, a black aura surrounded the blonde and repelled the kunoichi, destroying the strings and bells in the process. The remaining shinobi said, You took down Zaku and Kin easily, you are good. Naruto snorted. A purple aura appeared from the hollow. From Sasuke's body. When it receded, black markings spread from the seal to the rest of his body. The awake Sasuke was a blur to the last shinobi's eyes. When he reached him, his arms were seized from behind. Sasuke, in all his bloodlust, planted a foot on his back and pulled hard. Arg! He cried as his arms were broken. Naruto frowned. Sasuke, stop it! Don't let the Ten no Jun control you. A shadow clone appeared behind Sasuke and restrained him. The marks receded. Dosa! Zaku shouted, then he said, We'll strike a deal. We give you the scroll and we'll leave you alone. Kin whispered to Zaku. Orochimaru-sama didn't say anything about a cursed seal. Naruto, with his enhanced senses, heard it. So he was right, Orochimaru did want to test them. Zaku quickly took out an earth scroll and set it on the floor. Grabbing his 2 teammates, they ran away. Naruto picked up the scroll while eyeing Sasuke carefully. Sasuke, we need to seal away that curse seal of yours. If it acts up in the middle of something important, you're screwed. The Uchiha nodded obediently and sat down, taking off his shirt. Naruto took out a bottle of chakra ink and marked 2 concentric circles on the floor around the raven. Then, drawing a bit of blood, he wrote many characters on the floor and then on Sasuke's body leading to his neck where the curse seal was. Ready? This will be quick but painful. Rabbit, snake, horse, ram, bird, tiger. Rabbit, snake, horse, ram, bird, tiger. Rabbit, snake, horse, ram, bird, dog, rat. Fuin jutsu, Fuja Hoin, sealing jutsu, evil sealing method. The blood markings crawled up Sasuke's skin and surrounded the curse mark, causing pain on the Uchiha's part. Rest up, we'll get you to the tower, Naruto said and carried Sasuke after he put on his shirt. The blonde woke up the 2 girls and began traveling to the tower. The 4 made it to the center of the training ground quickly without many interferences except the occasional animal that blocked them. Upon reaching there, Naruto opened both scrolls and in a poof of smoke, Iruka appeared. Congratulations, you're the second team to make it. You can rest for the next few days. The tower has many facilities, Iruka said and ushered them into rooms. After laying Sasuke down, Naruto went to look for Anko about the whole situation with Orochimaru and the Ten no Jun. Suddenly a burst of smoke in the control room revealed Masaru the spy fox. Naruto-san, it appears you were right. That man, Kabuto, was working for Orochimaru. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Apart from that, it appears that Orochimaru is planning an invasion during the 3rd test. This shocked the occupants of the room to their core, especially Hiruzen. What? Are you sure? The fox nodded. In between the 1st and 2nd test, I followed Kabuto into the forest of death. He met with Orochimaru and talked about what I mentioned earlier, Sarutobi grimaced. If that's true, we'll need to set up the village for defense.